Hello YouTube, B3 here.
And I'm Matt, B3's friend.
We're friends, forever friends. We have little lockets. But yeah, we're going to start doing some Ace graphic novel reviews. On my B3 Productions channel, I do action figure collection updates and I do the reviews over here. And I have comic book collection updates over there, so why not do reviews over here? Am I right?
Hey, look, I don't have a problem with it so far.
Obviously, you're sitting here.
Mistakes were made.
But yeah, today we're going to start with Justice League Volume 1, Origin. Yeah, so we're just going to hook each other up with graphic novels, and we're going to read them, and then we're going to
talk about them.
We're going to talk about them.
Novel concept, I know.
Okay, so you read it most recently. I'm going to let you give the little overview here.
Okay, well, if you don't mind.
Yeah, there you go, sir.
Alright, so I have to say, I am a new comic book reader. This is actually really, I know, slightly blasphemous here, but this is actually the first graphic novel that I really read cover to cover, beyond my own research online and looking at stuff and being interested. So everything I say kind of comes with a grain of salt that I'm inexperienced and don't, for the most part, know the canon at large. But I have to say, I really enjoyed this, especially as a first-time reader, because of the excellent intro that it really gives to most of the characters. It does a pretty good job, in my mind, of establishing where all the characters are going in, and it serves as an awesome origin story for
Cyborg.
Cyborg,
That's
yes.
his name. Yeah.
Clearly, I'm camera shy. But I guess for a brief overview, we start off, of course, with the Caped Crusader, and he is under gunfire. And as the story progresses, monsters begin showing up all over the place, left and right, like any good DC comic, I feel like. And he begins to run into the other soon-to-be Justice League members, starting with Green Lantern, and they end up, of course, assuming aliens, and go to find Superman, who is currently, I believe, beating some of those alien scum into the earth.
Yeah.
And they decide to pick a fight with the Kryptonian Man of Steel, and that was a bad idea.
It was very bad.
It was a very bad idea. I think Green Lantern says something like, "Nothing can break my ring or beat my ring,"
Yeah.
and Superman proceeds to backhand his way through most of Green Lantern's constructs.
Chains, really? And just
bam!
That's a good panel too.
It was a great
It's a
panel.
nice looking panel. Jim Lee's art.
Oh wow! I have to say, I love the art.
Yeah, Jim Lee's my favorite.
It's clean and it's easy to follow, which I have not always been able to say about some of my, the things I found online, some other panels that I've looked for and looked through.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to follow than like The Dark Knight Strikes Back or something like that would be.
Though I have not read, I assume it is in a lot of dark colors.
It's not good at all.
Oh.
But it's
Conversation for another day, I guess.
yeah, it's not good.
But as the story progresses on, and the Green Lantern, Batman, and Superman proceed trying to find out who's starting this invasion of monsters, they begin bumping into the other future members of the Justice League, including Wonder Woman, who shows up in a pretty, stylish fashion. And as we go on, we also see Victor Stone's, I suppose, transformation into the Cyborg. Cyborg. Probably the extra article in front of Cyborg wasn't necessary. And I have to say, that was my, I think, favorite part about all this was Cyborg.
Really?
Honestly.
Not Aquaman?
Not Aquaman. I am a diehard Aquaman fan, all the way. But just within the context of this graphic novel, I thought Victor Stone's story and transformation was awesome. It does a good job of establishing his relationship, very rocky relationship with his father. And his transformation is painful, but also necessary, it seems, as he's kind of the catalyst for fixing a lot of this stuff.
They wouldn't have won without him.
No.
That's for sure.
I mean, hacking into the boom tubes and kicking Darkseid back to Apocalypse would not have happened without him. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
No, you're right. He's basically a mother box almost. So.
He does tend to boom around a lot. And of course, as we've already alluded to, Aquaman shows up, and that made my day too.
Yeah, that's like the coolest Aquaman panel of all time.
You know, if there's a way, I would love if you could put that just panel up, because Aquaman handling Green Lantern's skepticism is beautiful.
Pretty dope.
And I love that he's regularly confronted through the New 52, it seems, with people's skepticism about what uses Aquaman. And he just kind of has to grin and bear it for the most part. But, so Aquaman does join the fray. And initially the fight does not go well. Although I think I'm stepping into spoiler territory here. But, how spoilery am I allowed to get?
I don't know. I mean, we want him to go...
Buy it, because it's awesome.
It's pretty good.
Well, then maybe I'll leave it off there, but it finishes very much in what I assume is classic DC fashion. I think for the most part.
Finishes in classic DC fashion. I've never read a graphic novel.
Well, okay, having not read very many graphic novels, I have watched a ton of Justice League, a ton of the movies, a ton of the animated series from... Yeah, it's the phone. From Superman animated as a child, Batman the animated, Batman Beyond, Justice League, Teen Titans. I mean, just because this is the first I have read does not mean I am a complete
unfamiliar with the characters and stuff. Yeah, that's why we're doing DC stuff first.
Yes.
And starting on a volume 1 for you.
Which I greatly appreciate.
This was at the beginning of a whole new continuity. So that's why we're not starting with like Rebirth or something super new.
And I feel like the classic comic book style is that things get bad, hero rallies, manages to find a way to beat villain into ground. That's about your standard arc, and that's pretty much what this follows along.
Yeah.
Although probably the biggest bump for them is their actual ability to operate as a team. Because they all try to take Darkseid on one-on-one, and it does not end well for anybody who attempts that. So, and that was another great part to me, was them coming together as a team. So,
yes.
Yes. That's about what I mean, as a rough overview, I don't want to give away too much of this because I want you to go buy it. So
I'm going to take this and talk about just what I thought of it in general. I thought it was good. I mean, it's not like this super classic comic book story, but it does introduce a new continuity of the Justice League in a good way. I mean, it's going to take a really big threat to pull them together. And Darkseid's about as big as you can get, to be completely honest. There's not a lot in the DC universe that you can just bump into like that. Darkseid's pretty tough. He's basically a god. So I feel like that was definitely enough to bring them together. It really did justify them coming together. And I feel like the portrayals of characters are done pretty well. Superman's a little arrogant in this book.
And I almost actually like that about this portrayal of Superman, because if you were Superman with the powers of a near deity, I might be a little arrogant too.
Yeah, but to me, one of the appeals of Superman is that he can be down to earth and have all that power as well. And I just don't like. I read a lot of his New 52 run for Superman. I just wasn't into it. I just wasn't.
So maybe that's some wasted potential. They could have done his finding some humility and becoming that grounded superhero that everybody loves. So maybe that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, like when they did Rebirth, the only way to get Superman back to his roots was to kill him and replace him from the one of the last continuity.
That's, if from a writing perspective, you have really stuck yourself in a corner if that's the only way to fix the shit.
I mean, I just didn't like Superman.
I cannot blame. And again, I haven't read all of that and all the New 52 Superman because I'm new to this.
I like the New 52 versions of the rest of these guys. I haven't read Aquaman's solo, but I've been reading Justice League.
I started that.
Green Lantern, Hal Jordan didn't really change that much. Wonder Woman might have got a little more violent, but other than that, she's fine. And Batman's the same. Flash is about the same. Cyborg's cooler than he used to be.
It's been a great revamp, I have to say. They gave him a lot of good stuff to work with.
Yeah.
Especially considering he's on a team of people who are incredibly powerful. They really found a way to give Cyborg his niche.
Yeah, a lot of people are used to him being on the Teen Titans, but I think he works really well in Justice League. He's easily the most important character.
And the best rounded, at least in this particular issue.
He does feel the most human out of anybody, even though he's mostly metal.
Yeah, okay. Fair. But he's also still a kid. I mean, he's 18, I think. I mean, he's still in high school, still going out for a college scholarship, so he can't be older than 18.
Yeah, I'm thinking senior in high school
I mean,
when this happens.
yeah. So, and I think that's part of the humanizing effect, is all these other characters are established at this point. You get a little, get an idea of where they've come from, but this is really Cyborg coming into his own and I guess making the best out of a bad situation. Yeah. And I think that's part of what humanizes him so well. But I cut you off actually on your analysis.
It's cool. I don't remember what I was talking about. But as I said earlier, the art, Jim Lee, I just don't think it gets better than Jim Lee. Everything comes across really well. You can tell exactly what's happening. He's just perfect. Geoff Johns. I love Geoff Johns. He wrote your Aquaman.
I know, and I'm loving it.
So we'll be doing New 52 Aquaman as well. Even though that's not on my other channel. Those are his books. But
I can loan them to your channel. I'm happy to help out B3.
It's cool. We'll get him on here.
Alright.
But I mean, it was just a good round graphic novel. Good starting off. Justice League goes a lot of places in this continuity, so we'll be seeing that later. And there is a film.
There is.
A little animated movie, Justice League War, based off of this graphic novel. Yeah.
And I actually saw that, I think within a couple months of it coming out. So I've been aware of this, this plot for a while. And there's some differences.
Yeah. So
not huge ones. They stick pretty close to it, it seems.
Yeah, because in the movie, Aquaman's not in it at all. It's Shazam instead. But that's just so they could have Aquaman have an origin movie later.
Which I'm okay with, but I just want more Aquaman.
Yeah.
And Shazam worked really well in the movie, and I really enjoy Shazam as well.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see my boy Aquaman on the pages.
One thing you might not have noticed in the film is that it starts off with Green Lantern being saved by Batman instead of Batman being saved by Green Lantern.
Oh, wow. I actually... it has been far too long since I've seen the movie actually who have remembered that, but you're right now.
I think it works better having Green Lantern save Batman, actually.
I think it does also better establish Green Lantern's almost contempt for Batman without having any powers. I mean, actually saving somebody kind of gives you a little, I guess, somewhere to look down on him from, but
yeah,
maybe just looking too far into it.
But, just other than some little subtle things, the movies aren't really that... Well, that movie isn't that different from this one, except it doesn't have the little Trinity War set up in the end with Pandora and Phantom Stranger trying to figure out what's going on, and etc. But, yeah, we'll save some of that for later stories with them if we get to them.
Well, you are welcome to talk about it. I just know nothing about that.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten the Trinity War yet, so I don't want to tell him too much.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But, I mean, other than that, it follows the formula. It's like tiny little things. Like in the movie... Flash doesn't come to help fight Superman, but he does in here.
Yeah, okay.
It's just little things like that barely change the narrative. But,
and the overall story is still the same.
Yeah,
it's the origins of the Justice League.
Still them getting together, fighting Darkseid. Really the same thing. But yeah, that's it. So, do you recommend? Do you like it overall?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It was great, especially if you're somebody new like me looking to get into this. It was a great introduction, a great way to establish the characters and bring them together, and it establishes their dynamic really well too, which I enjoyed, and I'm starting to see more of that as I continue to read the Justice League volumes. And so I think it's fantastically important if you're interested at all in about any of these new 52 characters, the revamps. Definitely check it out. Even if you don't like it, you probably need it if you're going to follow their plot lines, I bet.
Yeah, it's the same continuity as Rebirth, so...
Yeah, it all ties together here.
We'll get to Rebirth Justice League too. I just got volume 1 of that.
Oh, all right.
The other day. So. Yeah, that's it. Thank you all for watching. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. And we'll be seeing you all later. Hey YouTube, it's your boy, B3, the only important person here. And Matty Matt. Not the Matty Matt you guys normally see in gaming videos, but this one, new guy, for comic book videos, yeah. So, on my other channel, B3 Productions, I do comic book collection updates. I'm going to start doing reviews on this channel. Same thing we do with the action figures. And what do you got for us today?
Well, today I have Justice League number 2.
Ooh, Volume 2, The Villain's Journey.
Yes. Thank you. I could not actually remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Well, it's on the front of the book. So.
That did help. I probably should have checked there. Gosh, that's a new concept for me. So
He's an English major, by the way. You have graduated.
I have. In fact, I teach English too.
And you can't even find a name of it. It's fine. I'm just messing with you.
That's okay. I can take it. So, yes, The Villain's Journey. This was an awesome volume for me. I am a new reader, as if you've seen the last video, you know by now. And this is really my introduction into the Justice League, especially the New 52.
Which is still the current continuity with Rebirth, by the way. Still relevant.
Yep, check that timestamp for when this was posted. And though I have watched and know a lot about DC, this is very much my intro to the New 52. And I have to say, while I enjoyed Justice League Volume 1, I loved Justice League Volume 2.
Oh, so you liked it more?
I liked it more, I think. While I love a good coming together story for the team, there's a bunch of those out there. Kind of like the team origin story and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's far more fascinating to see how the team stays together, especially with the big personalities that you have on a team like this.
And they almost don't in this book.
Which is what I find so fascinating.
Graves was a pretty dope villain. New villain for this. I don't think he was a villain before.
Of course I wouldn't know.
Not one I remember.
Well,
I should have probably looked it up.
Well,
New to me.
Feel free to comment below if you think we're idiots for not knowing about that. Really, and I thought, as a villain goes, when you're up against the likes of Superman and The Flash and Green Lantern and, of course, my boy Aquaman, raw power is not necessarily the way to go against somebody who can bench press 10-story buildings without breaking a sweat. And Graves' approach from a psychological perspective is far more terrifying to me just on a personal level, like geez. But also just within the context of the story, as somebody who actually could be dangerous to these people.
Yeah, because any villain can punch the Justice League, but he was manipulating
and in many ways tearing them apart emotionally more than just even mentally. So I guess I should go ahead and give a brief overview. It starts off really with another one of those classic monster battles against somebody named Spore.
Yeah, just a little in-between story, between bigger arcs.
And it really does seem to flow that way over a time period, because they take on multiple smaller villains throughout this story. By the end of about midway through is really when Graves starts to become the threat. But first, you have to establish really Graves' approach, which is Steve Trevor. Poor Steve.
Poor Steve.
Poor Steve.
Oh, Steve. Steve!
What did they do to you, man?
Steve!
Anybody who's a fan of DC and who has followed the New 52 probably knows by now about Wonder Woman and Superman. So any of us older fans who knew about Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman kind of had to sit there and go, what happened to Steve? And this really did answer what happened to Steve.
Outside the Wonder Woman title, anyways.
Well, as a new reader, I can say that I have not read those and not feel bad.
I haven't either, but I really want to read her Rebirth book.
I would be excited to as well. Maybe a future video, who knows?
I'm buying too much Rebirth stuff as it is, man.
Hey, look, you've got me to help out with the budget now, let's be real. But, really, out of this, I learned a lot of things about what New 52 is going to be like, I think. It's so much darker and sadder.
You can thank Nolan for that, boy.
Yeah, no, Christopher Nolan's impact on the DC Universe can definitely be felt. There is not a single character in here who does not have some kind of tragic, dark, literal ghosts haunting them.
Literally in this book.
Literally ghosts haunting them, thanks to Graves. But it starts off really establishing the Justice League's situation at the moment, their mass popularity with the people of Earth, and the discontent that the American citizens seem to be feeling for their government. There's even a couple of references to people wanting the Justice League to take over running the U.S.
Yeah, I would not want Hal Jordan to be a governor.
That sounds terrible.
That sounds like a terrible.
I don't even want to think about the amount of sexual harassment suits the government would have to handle.
I love Hal. He would just leave planet for years at a time.
But and really, this is after Justice League Volume 1. It's pretty easy to see why people love the Justice League. And this is actually a bit of their falling from grace as well, which was great. But I should probably give you a brief overview before I start talking anymore. So, as I said before, Spore comes in, another small little tiny arc, and Green Arrow repeatedly bothers the League about joining. To which the League, they're not so open to that idea. They tend to brush him off, especially Aquaman, who I am unaware actually of Aquaman's gripe with Green Arrow, and I feel like a terrible fan for that, because Aquaman and Green Arrow
are your two favorites.
Are my
you don't
two
know what's going on with either of them.
You know, if it was pre-New 52, I could probably tell you about it, but New 52 is throwing me for a loop here. So my heart hurts, my soul bleeds that my two men don't get along so well. But after a few references to Green Arrow kind of being, Green Arrow kind of calls him useless a few times. He's approached by Steve Trevor for an alternative team.
Yeah, set up for JLA.
Yes. Along the way, we kind of get the story of Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman's failed romance and their split, precipitated by Wonder Woman, and Steve's difficulty in coping with it.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. The media made it out to be worse than it was.
Although, you know, if you're turning to bottles of booze on a regular basis, you know, there's a little problem.
I don't know, but like when they're going on him and he's buying that alcohol, he's taking it to a dinner with his family to share with his sister.
Okay, see, like, I apparently need to reread this again.
You literally just read that before we made this video.
You're not. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and say in my defense, the first time I read this, I had 102 degree fever.
That's true. He was nasty sick.
Oh gosh,
nasty sick.
So I actually read through this as fast as possible, so we'd have a chance to actually sit down and do this video. So I'm gonna blame you for this one. I'm gonna blame you for that one.
But that's Chief.
Okay. Thanks for going along with that.
That's cool.
We have Steve Trevor's unfortunate backstory, and he's abducted by Graves in an attempt to figure out a way to bring down the Justice League. Now, along the way, there are also other supervillains who are breaking out, and all of whom have been tormented, tortured, or abused by Graves in an attempt, again, to find more information about the Justice League and pinpoint their weaknesses, which is pretty fascinating and a pretty great way to go, because nobody's going to know more about the heroes and the villains. I could speak. But after abducting Trevor, Graves confronts the Justice League at the Watchtower using Trevor's security access, which was all a clever ruse by Cyborg because he's not supposed to have access. It was just to see if
a
burglar alarm. Yeah, like hey, somebody's trying to mess with you.
Pretty fancy.
So he shows up and almost immediately debilitates the entire League instantly.
Yeah, they don't really have a big magic user, and Graves is magic.
Yes, absolutely. So
yeah, kind of like as a team, they kind of got a weakness there.
They really do.
Like the closest thing they have to a magic user would be Wonder Woman, just because her powers come from magic.
True.
But she's not a magic user.
And I guess maybe Aquaman gets a little bit of kudos for that.
Got that
Trident of Poseidon. Yeah.
But he didn't really do anything.
Yeah, okay. My boy was a little useless this time around, not gonna lie. He didn't do too terribly much. But I do like that they keep referencing Aquaman's kind of mistreatment by the media in the actually within the continuity.
I actually think that's kind of weird, because you say everyone's making fun of him and doesn't seem to like him in the Aquaman title. But in these books, it seems like, at least in the first two volumes, the whole world just loves him.
I tell you what, oh man, let me reference, after, because of Graves' manipulation, the Justice League ends up on Earth. He informs them that he's going to mess with Steve Trevor's sister. And so Wonder Woman freaks out a little bit about this. And Cyborg boom tubes them down.
She takes it hella personally.
Well, yeah, she does. And after a brief confrontation with Graves, mostly verbal confrontation, Wonder Woman loses it. Literally, and ends up... I'm starting to be convinced that anybody with any abnormal strength can smash through Green Lantern's constructs because she backhands her way through those too.
Yeah, in Volume 1, Superman's just blowing them up, and then here and Wonder Woman's like, the constructs aren't anything to her either.
There's this awesome panel where he's encased her in a bubble because Wonder Woman's about to go off all lone gun to go...
Fools. Yeah,
no, she very clearly states that she's going to go cut Graves' head off. And Green Lantern, of course, tries to slow her down and puts her in a bubble and says, wait, let's do this as a team. And there's this great shot where she's got her hand up on the bubble and her head's kind of bowed down and you can see the team in the background. And the next scene, she is smashing her way through and kicking Green Lantern through a couple of nearby cars, which was glorious, frankly. But Wonder Woman is clearly concerned, and this in altercation with Green Lantern and then with Superman and the Flash, I think it's involved as well.
Yeah, I think Batman gets Cyborg to boom him away.
I think so, yeah, right at the last second, because Graves is actually broadcasting this fight on every phone, computer screen, and TV around the world. So this has a pretty shattering effect on the world's perception of the Justice League. And, they kind of, to get back to the Aquaman reference, they kind of reconvene back in the Watchtower, and Green Lantern's complaining about this new perception. And Aquaman kind of just says, welcome to my world. Literally. Because public perception is not very positive about Aquaman. He's seen as a joke.
Just wait till the next fall.
Oh, gosh. I can already say that in the Aquaman volumes 1 and... I'm looking for 2 right now. But in volume 1 especially, there's a lot of disdain for Aquaman from the populace. But that's kind of beside the point. After this, they start piecing together some of Graves' backstory.
That poor guy, though.
Oh, man.
He just wants his family back.
And he was willing to do anything for him, and I frankly cannot blame him. That's another great aspect of him as a villain, is that he's very...
Like, you feel bad for him.
I do.
Like, you want the Justice League to win, but at the same time, it's like, you don't want Graves
to suffer anymore?
Suffer. Yeah, you don't want him to necessarily... Well, you want him to lose because he wants to release all these evil spirits on the world or whatever.
But
and they tricked him too. He's like almost just as much, probably more so of a victim than the Justice League here.
Well, and I gotta say, in this one, actually that's a little spoilery. I want everybody who watches this to go buy this because this is fantastic. And Graves' backstory is the same way Cyborg's backstory seemed to kind of be the heart of Volume 1, Graves' story and Steve Trevor's story kind of seem to be the heart of this volume. There's a lot of tragedy going on in this New 52 thing. I don't know if I could take it.
That's what Rebirth is for, man.
Yep, clearly. But Graves' backstory is tragic and sympathetic, and I really can't blame him for the way he kind of went after the Justice League. Of course, them being the Justice League, they find a way to persevere and overcome. They track Graves down to kind of his lair, I suppose is the best word for where he kind of comes from. They have their confrontation, altercation. Wonder Woman believes that Steve Trevor is dead, and Steve's miraculous reappearance, which nobody will be surprised about, I don't think.
No. Like, whenever someone's not dead in a comic, it's not a surprise.
Yeah. And Steve's miraculous appearance is kind of the catalyst for their comeback and them beating Graves. And it ends with, the Amanda Waller showing up to pick Graves' brain about how to break apart the Justice League, which I'm sure leads into some fantastic stories later on down the road.
Yeah, it's more JLA Trinity War stuff. It's building up.
But that's kind of the brief overview. Hunt, please tell me. I just said, oops.
What?
Nothing.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is your turn.
Okay, I'm just gonna I mean, whoever does the overview is just going to infuse their thoughts on the book with the overview.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Which is fine. No, it kind of just gets it done faster, honestly. But it just makes it seem longer. But I think one of the cool things about the Justice League is it's a mixture of lighthearted and darker characters. So you can have like a real bright Justice League story, or you can have a real dark Justice League story. And this was a real dark Justice League story, even though it kind of starts with a more comedic little Green Arrow thing.
And that really was actually pretty funny. Green Arrow's desperate attempts to join the Justice League and some hopes for redemption.
Yeah, it was a nice little break between the world almost being taken over by Darkseid and then almost being taken over by evil spirits.
Yeah. Well, and it really did establish the reason that I love Green Arrow, which is that he's serious and driven internally, but he's still more than a bit of a smartass. And seems to be pretty fun-loving as well along the way.
Yes. But yeah, because this book actually starts off with a nice little bit of comedy, and then Steve Trevor gets tortured. And it's just
Brutally.
downhill from there, my friends.
Oh, man.
Just downhill from there, and it's just, I haven't read this one a lot in my collection. When I read books,
I'm not sure I can blame you. It kind of hurts my heart a little bit.
this isn't one I reread a lot. I think I've only read it twice, to be completely honest with you. And it's good, and I think once again, just like in Volume 1, Cyborg's still my favorite in this volume.
I totally understand why.
Still my favorite. Still the most useful. And then, man, when they're in the cave and all the dead people are showing up and like all their dead loved ones are showing up, and Cyborg shows up to himself.
He sees his actual body, the body that he lost. Oh, wow,
I was like, what's going on here, my friends?
Oh, wow. That was
pretty hard to look at. I was like, oh, Cyborg, that poor guy. I don't want to call him a kid.
Because
he's definitely an adult.
Well, and they're flashing back to 5 years before, so the Justice League has been established in this universe at this point for at least that long. So that makes Cyborg by this point at least 23.
He's about our age.
Yeah. He is. Wow. But now I got a question for you actually. The end of this volume with Wonder Woman and Superman.
Oh, the kiss, the famous kiss.
As a new reader, and new to this, I suppose, fandom, I guess would be the best word. I have to ask, what was the effect of that for you as a longtime reader and fan?
For me, I didn't think it would last. It lasted for years. It just recently ended when that Superman died.
Yep.
I was like, she's like the most independent human being on the planet, and Superman's the guy that has to protect everyone at all costs. So I was like, he's going to constantly be sheltering her and shielding her, and she's going to hate that. And then they ended up being totally fine. I didn't read their couple title, Superman, Wonder Woman.
I didn't, clearly.
I wanted to, but I didn't.
I think maybe from the New 52 universe it makes sense, since Superman isn't quite as Boy Scout-y.
Yeah. Good thing he didn't date Lois. She's barely even his type in New 52. She revealed his secret identity to the world when she found out.
Really?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert!
Stupid. Dumb.
I haven't read that yet.
So dumb. I can't believe they wrote that in there.
And then the other thing I was going to ask you about was, how long does does Green Lantern's exodus from the Justice League actually last?
All of it.
Really?
I don't think he comes back.
Okay. I was not sure.
No, not Hal Jordan. They have 2 of them in the league right now, but I don't think Hal Jordan comes back.
Okay. Which I guess was the other big canonical shift at the end of this volume. Green Lantern is no longer in the Justice League, and Superman and Wonder Woman are together.
I mean, well, they had him just doing stuff in space all the time. Okay. So he was never on Earth. You got to be on Earth to be in the Justice League.
Makes sense.
So they were like, "Oh man, we got to get him out of here." And he really took one for the team too.
I gotta say that was the best moment that Hal has had in my reading so far, of taking one, just taking one for the team the way he did, being the fall guy for the conflict that Wonder Woman started.
And I want to say when the Question. You kind of just like see his back in the end. I fucking love the Question.
I know you do.
I love the Question. Not as crazy about magic question. I like the more human-y question more. But still, the question. Gotta love the question, man.
I'm sure I will when I finally get to reading more about him.
Got his action figure on my coffee table. I love him. Love him.
Clearly.
Yeah. But I guess that's it for
Volume
2 of New 52 Justice League, The Villain's Journey. Geoff Johns, Jim Lee, Scott Williams. I always forget Scott Williams. Sorry, Scott.
That's a great trio right there. I have to give them full credit. And again, Jim Lee's art style is wonderful.
But yeah, that's it. So we're going to move on to our next book for next time.
All right. I'll even change my clothes for that one.
Sure you will. I'm wearing a Marvel shirt today. There we go. Now I'm ready to film.
Get that blasphemy out of here.
Now I'm ready, boys. Alright, we'll see you guys later. Hey YouTube, it's me, your boy, B3, Matty Matt here, my friend, and back with another graphic novel review. Yeah, so I already reviewed 2 Justice Leagues, me by myself, not with you. You weren't there. I was there. You were there though. Just no one cared.
Well,
but
I cared.
It was a special time for me too.
In my soul places.
And today, what we got? What we got today?
Today, we got.
I'm a rapper. Sorry.
Justice League Volume 3, Throne of Atlantis.
Oh, sheesh.
Finally.
Which is Aquaman Volume 3 is also Throne of Atlantis.
Yeah.
This is actually equally parts Aquaman issues that it is.
Which makes me happy.
Justice League. Yeah.
If y'all saw the last 2, you know this makes me really happy. If you haven't seen the last 2, fix that.
Yeah. His was Aquaman. My favorite New 52 Justice League member, Cyborg. Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, he's like the only relatable one of them to me.
He is a little bit, although I love Aquaman. I can't help it.
He's pretty cheap, homie. Pretty cheap.
I do. So, where do we want to start?
How about you start with the story, since you gave yourself a little recap earlier.
I did give myself a little recap. Okay, so this one was actually a little bit more scattered, and it hit multiple plot points. It starts off covering Wonder Woman's conflict with Cheetah.
Oh yeah, Cheetah's in that one.
Yes, she
I almost
is.
forgot about Cheetah.
I did too, almost. That's why I recapped it. So, it starts off with Wonder Woman's conflict with Cheetah and gives some of the background behind that, and trying to hunt Cheetah down, which is actually pretty interesting. I didn't really care much about Cheetah before this, but I'm liking her new 52 version. It's interesting. And then right after that, we kind of bounce straight over into more of the Throne of Atlantis plot line. A missile test is spontaneously hijacked by mysterious forces unknown, and these missiles fly into the middle of the Atlantic, and of course the sailors on board have no clue what's going on. Anybody who knows anything about DC knows that Atlantis is now involved. So all of a sudden, the waters begin to recede around Gotham and Metropolis, and immediately surge back and start drowning. People are drowning in the streets, and it's awful. Massive tidal wave. Which Aquaman informs Batman is just the preliminaries for the Atlantean war plans, war invasions of the surface. And the Atlanteans are now just sitting back waiting to see which city got hit harder so they can smash that one to tiny bits and basically drown it. Bring it back into the ocean. And this brings, of course, Aquaman into conflict with Orm, who is now the king of Atlantis since Arthur abandoned that throne.
This is my favorite look for Ocean Master.
Oh, I think it's a great look for him.
Probably just my favorite Ocean Master all around, actually.
I'm up to a good page right there. So he is actually probably my favorite part of this, oddly enough. I love Aquaman, but they did a really good job with Orm here. I mean, he's got a wonderfully balanced character. Yes, he's trying to invade the surface, and he's killed a lot of people in so doing. But his reasons seem pretty justified. Atlantis did get bombed by the surface world, it seems like, to him.
Yeah.
So that does seem like a declaration of war.
Most of the time, when I see Norm, he's the one doing the manipulating.
Yeah, but he got manipulated.
Like a bad dude, but he's not even a bad dude in this.
There's even actually a really pretty touching scene between him and Arthur where Orm's kind of recounting like the reason he mustered the Atlantean army originally and was planning an invasion of the surface world was to reclaim his elder brother who was trapped in this horrible, toxic surface world. So really, I mean, Orm clearly cares about Arthur very much, and I like that difference of his character. If you've seen Justice League or anything else, usually Orm's the guy trying to take the throne and kill Arthur. So this is a nice flip on that. Of course, epic melees ensue. And while Atlantis is attempting to invade the surface world, Cyborg is forced to call on the Grid, I believe is how he refers to them.
Yeah.
Which is the entire network of other potential superheroes who they were thinking about bringing into the League at one point or another.
Yeah, I think it was like Vixen.
We got Vixen,
Firestorm. Remember Black Lightning and Black Panther.
Black Lightning, Black Devil.
Blue Devil.
Blue Devil.
Yeah, everyone
Hawkman.
forgets he exists, so it's fine.
Oh, I feel bad about that now. Maybe I need to go watch him, check him out too, since I love the underdogs. So Blue Devil, Hawkman, Zatanna, Element Woman,
God, I love Zatanna.
Firestorm. I love
Zatanna too.
I love
Element Woman's
Zatanna.
so cute.
She's kind of insane.
I love her.
Fair enough.
I love her since Flashpoint.
And actually, the Atom shows up as well, the female Atom. Although her part is never actually shown explicitly until the next issue, so we'll talk about that later.
In Volume 4. Yeah.
So they all end up showing up, defusing the Atlantean bombs they were going to use to sink. I believe it was it was Gotham. They finally decided to hit. And Orm and Arthur get to duke it out in what is pretty awful sibling conflict there. And it ends with Arthur taking Orm into custody, Surface World custody.
Which is
just
to do for peace.
You know? Right, yeah, no, the Surface World would not have been satisfied without that, but Orm is a little put out by this.
And I think the actual villain of this book, does he die?
Yes. The actual villain of this that manipulated the entire thing was Arthur's previous royal advisor, Vulko.
I didn't see that coming. You saw it coming like right away.
I didn't see it coming, but I wasn't surprised when it happened because by that point, like, I don't know, Vulko had never rang true with me. But I don't know, I didn't predict it, but I wasn't surprised.
I mean, I didn't have any reason to think it'd be any different because I'd already kind of seen the story in the Justice League cartoon.
Yeah.
I'd already kind of seen the story in
the Third Atlantis movie.
I read this before I saw that.
Oh, really? I saw the Third Atlantis movie before I saw this, so I was expecting something totally different that I didn't get. And I like it better, I think.
Yeah, I do think it was better than the movie. But the movie's good too.
It's
just its own thing.
Yeah, and the movie did a good job of introducing Aquaman as a character and everything else.
It was more of an Aquaman origin story movie that just happened to have Orm
the
as
Justice
the villain.
League and Orm, and of course, my other favorite part, Mira showed up, and I love Mira. Man. So she does some cool stuff holding back Ocean Master's tidal waves and some stuff, and it's fantastic. The art's awesome. Ivan, how do you say his last name?
I always thought it was Reese.
Reyes. I would have said Reyes, maybe. I don't know.
Well,
R-E-I-S.
Man, you're the English major. You tell me.
Hey, look, man, that's not an English name. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know things, man.
So,
you're the one that has the degree. I'm just a dropout, dude.
You're not wrong. So, to those of you guys, y'all can pronounce it however you like. Ivan, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. You are free to let me know how to pronounce your last name correctly.
Ivan, send us free comments.
We'll
put in a good word, I swear.
And then this also leaves off with Green Arrow finding Steve Trevor in a bar somewhere, and giving him some info.
Yeah, Trinity War setup.
Yeah, Trinity War setup.
Green Arrow's in the JLA.
It's a communicator with a medallion with Pandora's box, an image of Pandora's box on the front. That skull.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's.
And Steve seems to recognize it, and Green Arrow calls him on his lie. So he has Green Arrow run an errand for him, and that's where we leave off on this one.
Yeah, you get to see that errand in Trinity War, but you're not going to read Trinity War because I don't have a copy of Trinity War.
Hey, maybe I'm going to go find a copy of Trinity War. You don't know.
Maybe.
You don't know me. You don't know my life.
Well, you can't even get a copy of Aquaman Volume 2.
You know what?
Excuse Papa.
So that was an awesome one. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and you definitely need to check it out. How about your thoughts on this now?
I thought it was good. You know, Geoff Johns, one of my boys.
Absolutely.
Probably one of my I'd say it might be my second favorite comic writer right now. First be Scott Snyder, he's my boy.
Okay, fair enough.
My boy. His Swamp Thing was just a little bit of garlic. It was real good.
Oh man.
Like, I'd toss that salad.
Oh god.
Did it because Swamp Thing? Yeah.
I know, I got it. I'm the English major, remember?
Plants. Okay. But I'd have sex in Swamp Thing, dude. Anyways.
I'm holding out for Mira here. You get your Swamp Thing, I'll wait for Mira.
But yeah, you know, Cyborg's still my favorite. Got to see more of his keeping my humanity struggle, because he didn't really want the environmental changes.
No,
right?
but he had to sacrifice his last lung, so he's now down to really 2 organs left from his original body. His heart and his brain are the only things left, and half his brain is robotic at this point too.
Yeah.
So
I think it's like his brain, but then it has like a computer
circuits,
shell around, is how I imagine.
I imagine that somehow the computer's integrated with his brain to make all the mechanical bits and pieces run, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, Cyborg is wonderful, and he is steadily becoming one of my favorites in the New 52.
I want to read his solo series like crazy badly, but I can't like afford it, and I don't want to have to catch up on it. He got one way too late. Everyone else in the Justice League had a solo series right off the bat, except for Cyborg.
You know, he probably didn't have the built-in fan base. I think a lot of our generation associates Cyborg with the Teen Titans show.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's because he's always been a team character.
Right, and they really, with the New 52, they've turned him way more into a Justice League central character.
Yeah. Well, he's an adult at this point.
Yeah, well, he
was like 17, 18.
Yeah, he was
Volume
18.
1.
He was graduating because he was looking at going to football.
And then,
scholarship.
and then Volume 2 is 5 years later.
And how much further in the future is this? I mean,
it's just the next thing that happens.
Okay,
like maybe a couple months. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, he's our age. 22, 23.
About our age, yeah.
God, look at what he's doing. What have we accomplished?
Yeah, I mean, he's saving the world. He's got free rent via
the Watchtower.
Tech and the government. You know,
which is nice.
It doesn't have to eat, so that's an expense he doesn't.
Doesn't have to sleep, so we can binge watch YouTube cat videos all day.
Yeah, man. If I was Cyborg, I'd just be like, I'd be watching Netflix in my head while I did everything.
Although that's a fun thing to discuss in the next Volume 4.
Yeah.
Which I like. So, I enjoyed Volume 3 a lot. It was my boy Aquaman. It was a great, some great art from Ivan R.
Yeah, I always love his art.
I do too.
Except the faces sometimes. We'll talk about that later too, I guess.
I think so.
It was very noticeable in Aquaman Volume 1, so I think I'll save it for that.
It is, actually, unfortunately. But, yeah, that's about all I got, really. It was an awesome issue. If y'all are interested, go get it. Or even if you're not interested, go get it. Make good choices.
Yeah, remember to rate, comment, and subscribe for more stuff. We got action figure reviews on here, comic book collection updates on my B3 Productions channel, which are just like my single issues, so I talk about them over there. I don't let him touch them with his greasy, nasty hands. So yeah, they're over there. But yeah, SoundCloud. There's an album there you should check out. It's bad, but it's fun to make. So yeah, that's it. Thank you all once again for your support, and I'll see you all later. Hello YouTube, it is your boy, B3, back with another kicking graphic novel review. Yeah, we're keeping it going with our new 52 Justice League. We're going to try to breeze through that as fast as we can. With a little break. We're going to have a little break.
Yeah, no, we've taken a break and we've just been wearing the same clothes for days on end, right?
Yeah.
I don't change.
The last 2 were also...
Yeah, they're going to know.
Clothes. At least I'm not wearing a Marvel shirt this time, right?
Hey, that was a little hypocritical last time, just saying.
We'll do Marvel books eventually, too. We're not all DC. You are. I'm not. I'm not.
Alright, I'll claim it. I'm a DC fanboy.
I'll hook you up with some Dark Adventures. That's good stuff, man.
Alright.
Yeah, but anyways, that's what we got today. Justice League, Volume 4, as promised.
The Grid.
I'll pass it off to you, sir.
Again, alright. So, The Grid is another one of those... It was slightly scattered, seeming, at least at the beginning. Part of that is it has to establish a lot of characters and go ahead and set them up, at least within the Justice League.
Yeah. Like most of this is just waiting for Trinity War, and then the end of it's just like 2 of the issues from Trinity War, like the very beginning and very end. So Trinity War happens within this, but you don't get to read it. You have to buy a whole different graphic novel.
That's a total tease.
Yeah, I know, right? I paid $25 for this, basically just to read their recruitment story.
Man.
And I was like, what? I've already read Trinity War, and I should have passed it. Nah, I should have just waited for the
Probably.
Flimsy.
Probably.
Soft cover, that's the word.
Soft cover, yeah. I'm totally not an English major. Alright, so,
You books for a living. So.
technically I should books for a living, and clearly I'm not so good at it. Alright, so, we really begin here. Actually, the first scene is with, Firestorm? Yes, Firestorm. That's his name, right? Firestorm?
Yeah.
I get that right. I make mistakes too often, so I want to make sure I get this right. So, it starts off with Firestorm kind of setting up his character, setting up Zatanna and all the other people who were called in as part of the grid in Throne of Atlantis, all the people who kind of covered for the Justice League while they were out of commission at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Which was bad.
Wrapped up in the trench pods.
Trench pods, yeah. So Batman and Cyborg have previously discussed potentially expanding the team with more full-time members to handle more situations.
Batman really didn't want to do it because Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, the last time they expanded. But clearly Bruce and Vic had talked about it before because there was already almost a plan in place for it.
Yeah.
So it was one of Batman's like $1,000,003 contingency plans. I assume. Probably keeps it in his belt of wonders.
It's called the utility belt, but whatever. I know you know what it's called. I'm just messing with you.
So that's kind of your backstory for Firestorm's set up for Zatanna, the female Atom, who surprised me a little bit because I expected the Atom to be male. That's who I've always seen as the Atom.
No,
Yep.
There have been 2 male Atoms.
Okay.
And then she's the only female Atom, but not even really an Atom.
No.
An Atomica. From another world. An Earth,
Spoilers!
A third Earth.
Spoilers!
It's alright, I'm going to put potential spoilers right before the review. Just a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, not even potential spoilers, death spoilers.
Yeah, well, like, we're not going to say every single thing that happens. Most of it we don't remember. But
I just reread this today, actually.
Yeah.
Alright, so early on after the introduction, they all get to actually go to the Watchtower. There's actually a pretty interesting scene of all of these heroes socializing in a room, which would honestly be really fascinating. I would watch an entire comic of just these guys hanging out and having conversations.
I don't think I would.
I totally would. I love character interaction like that and character development and how people like play off each other. But
yeah, but I would love that in a graphic novel like we have it here, but like a single issue with no conflict.
For $3, I'd buy it.
$3.99 and then tax. Actually, $2.99 is a DC.
I'd pay $5 for that. That's how much tax I'll bring in and everything. I'd pay $5 for that. I'd get a big kick out of it. DC, if you're listening to me, go do that.
DC, if you're listening to me, raise your prices and take all the action away. That's what you're saying right now.
No, I'm not. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, hey, like you should totally include some more dialogue. Just hanging out dialogue.
Oh, that's fine. That happens.
I'm just saying.
All right. Actually, read comics. Anyways,
I'm working on that. Alright, so you got your recruitment, and they kind of established there's 3 real heroes that they wouldn't mind having joined their ranks.
I think they wanted Black Lightning and
Blue Devil. But they were a little ambiguous. Blue Devil wasn't so sure he wanted to do that. Now it was Black Lightning. They kind of were happy leaving the big picture to the Justice League so they could handle more small stuff day to day.
Street level. I love street level heroes, actually.
I do too. And Batman seems to say, kind of go to that.
Batman in his own title is pretty street level. Yeah.
And he regularly references how 2 above things, Superman and Wonder Woman and the others can sometimes get. So they recruit Element Woman.
I love Element Woman so much.
Firestorm.
I think I'm the biggest fan of Element Woman on the planet. Probably.
You might be, actually.
It's like I really love Element Woman.
I'm gonna let you have that one.
Screw Metamorpho. I don't care. I don't care about Metamorpho. I just like Element Woman.
So Element Woman, Firestorm, and the female Atom, because that's how I'm going to refer to her as the female Atom to keep her straight in my head.
I think Ryan Cho or whatever his name is the Atom in Rebirth right now. Because I think Ray Palmer is being held prisoner by Mr. Oz or whoever.
I'm not aware of that.
Watchmen.
So, all that's going down. They're supposed to be at the Watchtower actually for an induction ceremony, and that's not going down because Superman and Wonder Woman fucked up. You can bleep that out if you need to.
No, it's fine, man.
Okay. So, they decided to stick their collective dick into Kandaki to rescue some hostages, and Americans aren't really supposed to go there.
Like, yeah, it's not supposed to happen at all.
So it kind of sets
I mean,
off...
Wonder Woman's not an American.
No, she's Greek.
Superman kind of is an American.
I think he's officially an American citizen,
I
right?
mean, his documents are forged, but...
But he's... And so, one way or another, according to the paper, he's American.
Yeah.
It might be easier if he just went ahead and burned those. Anyways, so they set off some bad juju, and while they're kind of hashing all that out, Batman's having a sit-down talk with them about Wonder Woman and Superman's side action. Despero invades the Watchtower, armed with a kryptonite ring that was stolen from the Batcave.
But by whom?
We still don't know. At least I don't.
It's Atomica.
Oh, that's right.
Or it was either
It was
either Atomica or the Stranger, who is Earth 3 Alfred.
Well,
so.
actually, it wasn't either of them. It was whoever that was in the black outfit that electrocuted Red Hood, who I love Red Hood, one of my favorite anti-heroes, and kicked the shit out of Alfred, which really upset me. It's right at the beginning.
I think it's the Outsider that does it, man.
He's all in black, so maybe the outsider, but I don't think it's Atomica. I think it's clearly a male. It's not right at the beginning. Let's just go ahead. I flipped to it like instantly a few minutes ago, and now I can't do it again. There you go. Just find Red Hood.
Just find Red Hood. Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's a confrontation that goes down in Kandaki between the Justice League of America, which is the team that Amanda Waller and Steve Trevor have been secretly gathering on the side. Or, I assume secretly. It seems secretive. And they're especially recruiting all of the members of the JLA to be able to counter the members of the Justice League, and that includes the Martian Manhunters on that team. So there's a bit of a throwdown in the Kandaki Desert, and then it cuts off, which is what I assume where Trinity War crops up. Or at least something. I don't know. It cuts off very dramatically.
The desert starts, and all the Justice Leagues are about to brawl in this desert. So there's 3 Justice Leagues at this point, because they got rid of International because it was terrible and stupid and nobody liked it.
Yeah. So there's competition in the desert. Dr. Light accidentally blasts Wonder Woman because Superman is apparently a UV radiation machine. And Dr. Light absorbs the light in the areas around him, so apparently just
they
like
are in the
overloads
desert.
him.
It's pretty bright.
Yeah, it's pretty
already.
bright. So it overloads him, and he blasts Wonder Woman, and Superman, in seemingly a fit of rage, laser eyes Dr. Light to death.
But that was all once, like Atomica was doing again.
So
she got all in there and just hit his brain the right way or whatever.
Yeah, no. So what happened was
it's all her. Her and the Outsider manipulating everything.
So after recovering the kryptonite ring from Despero, they realize there's a microscopic sliver that's been cut out of it. And this is what Atomica jammed into one of Superman's nerves to set off his laser vision. Which, how she knew which nerve to set off in an alien Kryptonian brain is a little beyond me.
Well...
She had Ultraman, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Figure.
I mean, Ultraman would probably know. And I think it's actually, for their dimensions, it's swapped. So just the opposite side of wherever Ultraman's would be.
Fair enough. So, she kryptonites Superman's brain right at the wrong time. And then really the next time we see things, Superman is progressively dying of radiation poisoning from the sliver in his brain.
Eventually it does add up and actually kill him at the end of the New 52, which
really?
I loved, because I
Spoilers.
wanted him dead.
Spoilers?
It's not spoilers, we don't even...
Spoilers?
It's been too long to be spoilers.
I know. It's a spoiler to me. I'm a scrub. Yeah, fair enough. You did mention it in passing the other day. I got mad at you then, too. So,
I loved it.
Superman is progressively dying from this radiation poisoning in his brain, and he's been determined to kill Batman after our little time skip into weirdness. There's a lot of conflict going down between the Justice League,
Pandora's box is
JLA,
corrupting everybody.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Pandora's box is kind of in the background as a subplot. It corrupts Superman for a couple of seconds there, and he beats the crap out of Wonder Woman, which was bad.
Yeah, and eventually the Outsider gets his hands on it. He can open it, because, like, Peter was like, oh, you gotta be pure in heart to open it. But you gotta be pure evil, turns out.
Yeah.
That's
you have to be from that world.
Yeah. By the way, it is the Outsider that steals the ring.
It is? Okay.
Yeah. Dude, retinal scanned, and did a handprint, and it let him in. It was
Because he's
the
Alfred.
Stranger, yeah, because he's Alfred.
Because he's Alfred.
Yeah. But also maybe a little bit the Joker. Because the suit's a little purple and he's really pale.
Yeah, it's kind of odd actually. But yeah, it's
I like
evil
how
Alfred.
and he doesn't look like Alfred, so it's good for him.
Yeah, I'm down with that. And as he opens up Pandora's box, the crime syndicate comes out.
Ooh,
Darn.
ooh,
Fight.
ooh.
Please.
And then that starts off Forever Evil. There was no space
Okay.
between these two big events. It was
Wow.
Trinity War and then Forever Evil immediately.
I feel like that was actually a bad pacing call.
Yeah, but Trinity War was just a Justice League event across the 3 Justice League titles, and then Forever Evil was a line-wide event. And DC actually handles their line-wide events, or they did in U52, really well.
Okay.
Because they cancel all their books. So they wouldn't cancel them; they just put them on pause.
Okay.
They would release a bunch of stories that were just 1 or 2 issues.
Right,
Maybe
just
start
to keep
some
people's
miniseries.
appetite.
Yeah, because when Forever Evil did it, they still had Justice League going because that was Cyborg's story. And then they had Forever Evil Arkham War, which we will review eventually, and that was what was happening in Gotham at the time with Bane and everyone. And then I think there might have been one for the Rogues, and then all the other titles stopped putting out their issues, and they were putting out .1 issues.
Okay.
And those were my backstory on the villains or what that specific villain was doing during Forever Evil.
Okay. We're gonna recap all of this when we get to it.
Yeah, Forever Evil is gonna be pretty soon, so.
Okay. And it leaves us on a cliffhanger there. The grid does. In some ways I feel like a lot got done, and in some ways I feel like not a lot did.
Yeah, honestly, you could, if you're getting the Justice League graphic novels, you could probably just skip this one and get the Trinity War graphic novel, and you might be better off.
It might give you just enough setup to handle it all.
If you want this, get it real cheap on Amazon or something.
Yeah.
Normally, I would want you to support your local comic shop or something, but
This one, it's supported for the good stuff, right?
it's basically like a really little story, and then
It's
2
all
issues
set up.
from Trinity War.
It's all set up in Trinity War, yeah.
Yeah, so the Trinity War graphic novel is what I kind of should have gotten. But at the same time, I am glad that I have every Justice League graphic novel.
Hey, no, I'm certainly glad you do. Plus, it does do a good job of setting up those other characters. We got Constantine. Constantine makes his appearance in here, and I got really excited.
Oh,
I love Constantine.
you should have read the issue where he stole Shazam's powers during Trinity War.
Oh, we need to get to that.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Maybe I'll get that.
That
You
happened
can
in
borrow
an
mine.
issue of Constantine, so you'd have to get a Constantine graphic novel to read that.
I actually.
Or you know what? You could probably
I
just
intend to
find-
start reading Constantine actually because I like him a lot.
You could probably just find that single issue for a decent price. I wish you could get it at cover price still, or less.
Probably, but based on all the Constantine I've seen, Justice League Dark and his interactions here, I think he's one of the better rounded characters. He's almost a.
He's your type of character.
He's my type of character. He's a little darker, a little gruffer. He's definitely up my alley. So yeah, there you go. It was good, but you could probably skip it and fill.
I have
in with
another
some stuff
complaint.
around. Oh, you do?
I have another complaint
Hey,
about. I
please.
mentioned it to you earlier about Platinum.
Oh yes,
She
you
shouldn't
did.
be there.
She shouldn't. You're right. Continuity
Continuity-wise,
errors.
there's no room in her story to be there because in Volume 5 of Justice League,
Okay.
it gives the origin of the Metal Man.
Okay. Which I'm about to read.
Who is she? Yeah, I'm not going to say too much.
I
For you.
appreciate that.
But in the origin, most of the time they exist, they're not operational.
Mhm.
How is she there? There's no room in her origin.
I mean, she's only
The
there
way
for like
it's
a couple
written.
hours tops, really.
Yeah, but
I mean, surely they could have like a couple hours of like a prototype going wonky, right? I guess.
when you read about how their creator is, it'll make more sense to you.
Okay.
We'll talk about it more when we get to Volume 5.
Next volume 5, yes.
Yeah, Volume 5. I think we're going to take a break from Justice League, though, and get to some other volumes.
Sounds good to me.
But, yeah, we'll talk more about that Platinum, and if you think it's a continuity problem, because I think it is, but we'll talk about it later.
Alright, we'll see what happens.
So, yeah, that's it. Justice League Volume 4. Yeah.
Woo!
Not as epic as the cover makes it look, but
But good enough.
good enough, I guess. Not $25 good enough, but
Probably not, no.
yeah. What DC used to do is they would wait forever to release a graphic novel. Or something. Now they release them really fast
Okay.
for Rebirth, but they would almost never release them quick enough, and then they'd only release a hardcover. And if you wanted to save money on a paperback, you'd have to wait a few more months.
Oh.
You'd have to wait until the next volume came out almost to get it.
Oh, that's rough.
Which is why I have this mix of
Hard and soft copy
for Justice League. Yeah.
No, it makes sense to me. Absolutely. You gotta be smart with your money if you're gonna get all the stuff that you want to.
That's why I got most of them from Amazon, because I just couldn't afford. Now I get them from Barnes & Noble mostly, because they're cheaper, because they're flimsy. And the ones I can't afford, I'll just sit in the store and read.
Yeah, like
they got chairs in there.
Hey, they wouldn't put chairs in there if they didn't want you to do it. But and actually, I think the next two that we're going to be looking at are both kind of for me.
Yeah, they're yours. They're your books.
They are my books. We finally hit my books, guys.
Yeah, so this is stuff I haven't even talked about on the other channel, like at all. So
I'm contributing.
Yeah, tune in next time for Rebirth, Green Arrow, Volume 1.
My Other Man!
Yeah. Spoiler alert, it sucks. I'm just kidding. We'll get to it in just a second. You and me. Best pals. Alright. So, remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll be seeing you all later. Hey YouTube, it's your boy, B3, Matty Matt. My guy, my freaking dude.
your scrub that you keep here to talk about.
Yeah, man, I'm bored of making videos by myself, so...
I don't blame you.
So I was like, man, I gotta make a friend now.
Yeah, now. We totally hadn't been 22 years.
Yeah, definitely not. But, yeah, so last time we did Justice League Volume 3, and before we can do Volume 4, we gotta do...
Shazam!
Oh, sheesh. Yeah, they can't call him Captain Marvel anymore, because Marvel has those rights for Carol Danvers, so...
Oh yeah, they do.
Excuse me.
I didn't even think about the crossover issues with copyright and all that.
Yeah, but more Geoff Johns. We got Gary Frank doing some of his facial expressionism on here, and this wasn't its own comic. It was like a little side story that was in the back of Justice League each month.
Oh, really? And they just they collected it all together and put it
into this.
Okay.
Which wasn't a bad idea. I think it worked out.
No, not a bad idea at all.
They just did that to kind of get him out really quick before Trinity War, because they wanted him in Trinity War.
Gotcha.
And they also needed a reason to have Black Adam around for Forever Evil. So
hey, Black Adam is a fun villain. I really liked his backstory in this. I didn't know it up till this point.
Yeah, New 52 Black Adam might even be my favorite one.
It's dark too.
He's a great baddie.
Yeah. So you want to jump in on this one then?
I've read this once ever.
Oh, so, really? Well, then maybe I need to.
Yeah, because remember, I read it here right after I bought it, and then I just tossed it to you.
You were correct.
So it's never even been to my house.
Wow. Well, who says it's ever going to out of my possession at this point? It's spent all its life here. This is its home now.
Yeah.
All right. So, and again, I actually didn't read this for an entire month either, and I did a quick recap right before we got ready for this video.
Yeah, we were both sick for he was sick for 2 weeks 1 month, and I was sick for the other 2 weeks.
Yeah, we alternated sickness, so we had to wait a little while. And you're still recovering from yours.
Yeah, I've been coughing for a month and a half. I'm like Jim Henson at this point. I'm just gonna cough till I die.
If you get me sick, I'm gonna kick your ass.
I'm not sick.
If you get me sick, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Man. It's cold outside.
It is really cold. What happened to spring?
It was 20 degrees last night. It's spring.
Well, it was spring all through winter, and then spring rolled around and decided to be winter again.
It was the North's summer all through winter for us.
Okay.
It was like summer in the North.
You're not wrong. Okay.
Our summer, people are gonna die. People are gonna die.
No, straight up.
I'm not even joking.
No, it happens here in the South.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a couple of years ago we killed off some people at band camp.
I was just about to say, in band camp, people would pass out all the time.
All the time, because the heat, yeah.
We should probably get to go.
This one time, yeah, we should at this point. All right. Maybe we should cut this whole beginning. I don't know.
Yet.
So, Shazam. It starts off, of course, following Billy, our titular character.
Like a completely different Billy than we've had in
He's no longer the pure of heart Billy.
He's a little piece of shit.
Which I actually almost like better, I think.
Like, you feel bad for him even though he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit just because
he's the product of his environment. Yeah, and his experiences. So it's depressing and sad to see Billy, but you understand where he's coming from. And I'll breeze through the beginning parts. Billy's a bit of a rambunctious ne'er-do-well. He, of course, has all of his other orphan friends. And
but he was getting, returned to foster home over.
Yes, he was. He's getting brought back to
What's
foster
that
home
movie?
immediately.
They have a few of them. Problem Child or something?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
That kid. It was like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Black Adam opens up the gate to the Eternity Stone.
The Rock of Eternity?
The Rock of Eternity, sorry.
You gotta learn comics, man. You
Hey,
gotta do this.
look.
You gotta get on the wiki.
Hey, the reason you got me here is because I'm a scrub. If I get too good, you'll kick me back off.
Yeah.
You have oh, the dog.
It's okay, I like dogs.
I know you do. So Black Adam reappears, and along with this plotline, Billy gets the powers from the wizard Shazam to be Earth's new champion.
Yeah, he convinces the wizard no one has a pure heart.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets the powers, and then the wizard dies.
Impressive. Yeah, and the wizard dies immediately afterwards, which does stay true, I believe, to previous Shazam stories, doesn't it?
Sure, why not?
I think. at least what I wikied in the movie I saw.
It's good enough, yeah.
So,
you saw a short film, but whatever.
Yep. And we have thankfully returned to the era of the entire Shazam family.
Yeah.
So
they're like not the Shazam family all the time, really just for this book.
Oh really?
Yeah, he doesn't have his own solo series. He hasn't had one all the New 52, which I thought was a little weird.
That is a little odd,
Yeah.
actually. So, Black Adam is bent and determined to be Earth's sole champion again, and to do so, he needs to off Billy.
Who at that point is just using his powers to like get money.
Yeah, he literally attempts to rob an ATM.
At first he was like saving people for cash, then he was just like Shazam.
Yeah, he just lightninged an ATM and made money spew out. And then some robbers happened to be coming around the corner at exactly the right time to make it look like he was a hero saving the day.
And he was robbing the place.
And he was robbing the place too. They were offended he was robbing it.
Oh man. So
they tried to shoot him and he got bothered. And there's a brief little, confrontation between him and Freddy about Freddy is his other orphan friend who's on crutches, and
he's also a little piece of shit.
Well, he was also a little piece of shit trying to get him to rob the place. So Freddy's not necessarily the best influence here.
Stand up to bullies and protect his foster brothers and sisters that way.
Yeah.
So it's like every time he does a good thing, he does like a bad thing immediately after.
Yeah, just to make sure he doesn't get too much good karma.
Yeah. Can't have that.
It's like trying to balance a character in Fallout 3. You can't have too much good karma. Anyways. So Black Adam appears, wanting all of the powers of Shazam to be Earth's sole champion, and that's pretty much his shtick. And he manages to kick the ever-loving crap out of Shazam a few times here, since he is centuries more experienced with his powers and his spell usage. Billy immediately turns back from Shazam into Billy to try and run and hide because Black Adam can't track down Billy unless he activates Shazam's powers. So he regroups with his family and desperately tries to find the wizard before Francesca appears in the reflection of an iPad.
And then gives him the whole spiel
Gives
about
him
the story.
Yeah, gives him Black Adam's history.
Should have listened to the whole thing. He almost got deaded.
He almost got absolutely deaded. And Black Adam's backstory is absolutely my favorite part of this whole thing.
Yeah, it's mine too.
Quick overview. It goes back really deep into history, back into primitive, ancient times.
Give me a date.
I can't.
Aren't you also a
history
minor?
minor?
You
Yeah.
also have a degree. Sir.
I do have a degree in history.
I want you to look at the pots in the pictures and tell me what
Sorry,
time period it is.
I am not familiar with Kendaki history. I think that's how you say it, isn't it? Kendaki history?
Right. I think it's a fictional country.
It is a fictional country, therefore my degree does not apply. Although it does seem to be based off of some weird
I think it's Middle Eastern.
Persian-y, Middle Eastern culture, but there's also looks like some African influence based on the cheetah skins that some of these guys are wearing, and a little bit of Mongolian-style terror and pillaging.
Could be close to Egypt, maybe.
Maybe a little bit. It's kind of just generic, ancient, sandy civilization.
Make it look old.
Yeah, pretty much.
Probably what John said.
So it actually, the story Francesca tells is incredibly misleading, and I can't imagine. That's the one part I had a problem with. Is why would she tell a Mon story if this is supposed to be Adam's story? I mean, at no point does she preface. By the way, Adam comes in later. This is just the. Anyways.
Yeah, and I I knew where that was going. I could really tell.
I
was like, oh man, that's not the kid, man. Don't go up there saying stuff.
I totally bought it. Actually, I thought I was gonna be the kid. So
last review we did,
you totally.
I totally bought it, and you saw it.
I mean, I figured like the kid would become like older and jaded and attempt to like write things and fail epically. And
You were thinking like he's immortal, so he would see so much
yeah,
garbage
exactly.
over
Then he
history.
turned into shit.
Oh, that makes sense too.
See, I'm not a total idiot.
No, just
Usually.
a little bit.
Just a little bit. All right. There's a kid named Amon who is a slave to this Kandaki Empire, and he works in the mines and all that, and he's about to get beaten to death, essentially, when his uncle spontaneously appears, kills the slave master, and they manage to escape to freedom. Well, not actually escape to freedom. They escape deeper into the mines while the other guards are chasing them down to brutally slaughter them. And as they are calling out for help, the wizard Shazam makes Amon, the child, appear in the rock fraternity. Yes, did I say that right?
Yeah, rock
Okay,
fraternity.
good. I'm learning.
Yeah.
So, appear in the rock fraternity, which used to be a massive citadel. And Amon's deal is that he will accept the responsibility of world's champion and accept Shazam's powers if it will also mean protecting his uncle who is about to die from an injury he sustained from a guard. So, of course, Amon agrees. He appears, and they get to safety. And Adam, turns out his uncle's name is Adam. Dun dun dun. Right? Shocker. Adam is bent and determined to have Amon use his powers to bring down the Kandaki Empire, and in a very brutal fashion, which he says is for justice, and Amon realizes is just for revenge. So as Amon calls out Shazam to take on those otherworldly powers, Adam sticks his hand in above Amon to take the powers.
And he slit his little piggy throat too, or something like that.
I don't
Snaps
actually-
his neck. I don't know what he does.
I don't actually think I think it just shows him grabbing the lightning, and that's all that happens.
Yeah, but he kills that kid.
Yeah, no, the kid's freaking dead.
He killed his nephew.
And Adam still believes himself to be some kind of savior hero. He really does think he's kind of awful, but he did imprison the 7 deadly sins, which is probably a good thing. Anybody calling themselves the 7 deadly sins can't really be good unless they're in a Netflix anime.
He does let them back out though. Which
He does.
is one of the things that leads.
He lets them back out, but only because they all know he can whip their ass, and they do what he says.
And then that is another thing that just leads straight to Trinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Because Pandora's running around doing her thing.
Yep.
Throwing her box around. Not what I meant.
You totally meant that double entendre.
No, that was a complete accident.
I do not believe you.
I would have made a funny noise or something if it was on purpose.
You did make a funny noise. It
I would have
gone
like, wink.
So, Black Adam takes Billy's adoptive family, his orphan family, hostage, and he's got them all like sprawled beneath his feet and held up above his head in a chokehold. And Billy figures out that he can share his powers with them, and he spreads his powers to the rest of his family. And we have the Shazam family again, at least for a little while, and they have some pretty interesting powers. Some epic facial hair too. Just saying.
Yeah, I bet you're
I
jelly.
mean, I am super jelly. Let's be honest here.
You're a little chump.
Hush, they can't see that. It's too small for you to see. Come on, what are you talking about? And so they proceed to attempt to kick the crap out of Black Adam, and it doesn't really work. But Billy manages to trick him. He transforms from Shazam back into Billy, and as Black Adam holds him up over his head, again preparing to kill him and take his powers, Billy's like, "You're not a hero. You're about to kill a kid in cold blood."
Again.
If you're a real hero, you'll fight me one-on-one, man-on-man. You'll turn back into normal and we can duke it out. And he goads Black Adam into saying the magic word, and he turns back to his human self, which he has not done in centuries. He doesn't even recognize himself in his own reflection, barely. And suddenly...
And this guy's probably older than Jesus Christ.
Multiple, very likely, actually. Multiple centuries. They were still using stone spears.
Yeah.
So, I guess they're stone spears. They look like stone spears. But anyways, so he transforms back into his original body after centuries, and then he pulls a Indiana Jones Last Crusade, and he turns to dust as all those centuries catch up with him spontaneously. And that is how Billy managed to outsmart Black Adam.
Again, just like in the short film.
Just like it. Yep, there you go. Exactly the way the film goes.
When that actually happened, I was like, man, they're getting rid of him the same way they did in the short film. I actually don't know which one came first.
I don't
to be
either.
honest.
We probably can check the.
Because I got this way after it came out, and I got that
You got this
short
like
film
2 months
collection
ago.
way after. Yeah, and this
2 months ago, literally.
this is years old from when I got it.
Yeah, it is.
So.
Wow. So I thought it was actually very good. I won't say fantastic, just because Shazam's one of those characters I like, but I don't get super jazzed about necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty straightforward.
It was very straightforward. It was a good origin story. A little on the predictable side occasionally.
Yeah. It left like a string open. It hinted at a mystery to his parents' death just a little bit.
A little bit. And
he doesn't remember how they died or anything.
No. And there's our mystery man with the lightning-looking eye.
Oh, yeah.
Who's kind of a subplot going on behind the thing. He's looking for the Rock of Eternity.
Yeah, he's like a mad scientist in the previous continuity. I can't remember his name now.
And he's trying to resurrect his family. And science, the air quotes, science has failed him thus far, so he's turning to magic, which is why he had to find the Rock of Eternity.
Yeah, doesn't he die?
No, he doesn't die. He finds a little centipede in a jar.
Oh, Mr. Mind.
Yeah, there we go, Mr. Mind.
I wonder if they ever followed through on that.
Who knows?
I forget his stupid villain. He's so dumb.
I don't know anything about him, so one day I'll learn.
I'll show one of these days. I'll show you the Batman Brave and the Bold episode of Mr. Mind and the Shazam family.
I love Brave and the Bold. But yeah, so there's Shazam. It was pretty good. I can recommend it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I personally would spend my money on it, but that's
Well,
also
that's
nice
you don't
because
have
I have
to.
you. Yeah.
I got a stack of graphic novels this big at home. Just tossing them your way, and you have what, 4 Aquaman books?
Oh God, yeah, no.
We also got those.
No, I got 5 Aquaman books and a Green Arrow.
That's true. And those Muslim graphic novels. I have
Yes,
one, I have one of those
Persepolis.
too, but I don't have. That's.
I'm
what's
gonna
wrong.
get you the second
I
Persepolis.
wanted to say
right?
Persephone, but I knew that was wrong.
No, that's Greek mythology.
I know. That's why I knew that.
Totally
was
wrong part of the world.
Yeah, that's why I knew it was wrong.
Look, I'm an English major and with a degree in history as well, and I can tell you that's Greek mythology, man.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, absolutely. There's Shazam.
I liked it. I think they should give him a solo series. I think they set up enough in here to do it.
Agreed.
And I really don't think they followed through. They really don't use his character much.
We'll have to follow up on that with a Wikipedia
Yeah.
search.
I will actually. I am gonna search New 52 Shazam later. But yeah, once again, this is mostly like this whole thing exists just for Trinity War setup. So
Pretty much. I mean, it does kind of reek of that.
yeah, but only if you know what's gonna happen in Trinity War.
The whole thing does feel a bit like a setup, though, with all the number of characters who are vaguely named and who the number of threads that are left open at the end. It does feel like a setup for a bigger event.
I'm gonna fill you in, man. Every single comic you're gonna read is a setup. Every modern comic is setting up for something, even if it's just the next issue. It's all set up.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Unless it's like some contained alternate world or something.
Or some
an
little like
Elseworld.
mini short.
Yeah, like
maybe.
All-Star Superman wraps itself up pretty nice. I'll
Okay.
toss that your way one of these days.
One of these days.
I'm gonna make you read Rebirth Superman first.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, Superman's like white bread to me, so.
Well, you haven't read All-Star Superman, the greatest Superman story of all time, or Superman Unchained, also the greatest Superman story of all time.
So, what's the greatest Superman story of all time then?
It probably actually is All-Star Superman. It's
Well,
really good.
That sounds like a different video, though.
Yeah, definitely a
I've
different.
rambled enough in this one, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Shazam, volume only. So, next time, volume 4 of Justice League. And I'm also going to let you talk most of the time for that. But I will talk most of the time for Green Arrow and Aquaman.
You bet. Oh, no, you're not taking Aquaman from me.
I'm not taking I read it yesterday.
Alright, fine. I'll let you take that.
The reason I'm letting you read it is you're the one that's...
You've read them recently.
that's
Okay.
wrong.
Alright, you make a valid point. I'm gonna have plenty to say about my man.
That's true. I'm fine with that. Boy. I'm fine with that, boy.
All right.
I do more commentary on the other channel, so I'm just letting you kind of rule this one a little bit.
Well, you know, I don't want to do too much. I don't know if the people watching actually like me.
It's cool. I'm just gonna whoever reads it the most recently is just gonna do it.
I like this.
I think that's just a good idea.
Good idea, yeah.
So it's usually gonna be you.
Because you've read them multiple times in the last.
Because it's almost entirely my books. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it. Thank you all once again for your support. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out the links in the description below, Twitter, etc.
Don't forget to like. He didn't say like.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like the video. I guess that's fine or whatever. I mean, click on the ads. That's what gets me the money. So.
Hey.
That cat.
Turn off your ad blocker.
Turn it off. Come out, scream. Don't say my name 3 times. I'll be in your house. Anyway.
You don't want him to be in your house. Can confirm.
That's it. We got to move on to the next one. I'll see you guys later. Hello, YouTube. B3 here, back to another kicking graphic novel review. Yeah, so we have one today that we kind of skipped over when we were doing all our New 52 Justice League stuff. Because we did all of New 52 Justice League, and we did like the events that went with that. We did the Shazam side story. We did Forever Evil. We did Dark Side War Power of the Gods, whatnot. And but I didn't have this book, so we kind of moved across this event. It's Justice League Trinity War. Yeah, the big crossover event with the 3 Justice League titles. All the titles included in this collection would be Justice League Dark, Justice League of America, Pandora, Constantine, Phantom Stranger, and the New 52 Free Comic Book Day Special 2012. So that's all in here. And I've read all of those before because a friend of mine got all the individual issues and all the tie-ins and everything. And he let me read them in exchange for me letting him read some of my books also. So it's been, but that was like when this came out, so it's been a while. So it was a nice little refreshing read, kind of get this back in my head. But to be completely honest, for one of the first major crossover events, it's pretty mediocre. This was Justice League's first big crossover event for the New 52, and it was very mediocre. It's just a big mystery of what Pandora's box is and what it really does. And all the different Justice Leagues are finding out, and they're mixing teams, and they're going around, and the secret society's doing stuff. And then, of course, it turns out to be scientific, not magic, and it's from Earth 3, the birthplace of all evil. And it is what affected our world with evil, with science. Not magic, I don't know. That still doesn't really explain the embodiments of the sins, though. You know what I mean? So it's a little confusing. It's got some loose ends it doesn't tie up, and it's a big crossover event that's really just an intro into a line-wide event. That's all it really is an intro to Forever Evil. And it's not actually its own thing almost, right? Like the whole point of it is to start a bigger, better event. And it's whatever. I mean, you'll want to read it if you really want to understand everything that goes on with 52 Justice League, but honestly, you can pass on this. You can pass on it. Just read Volume 4 of Justice League, and that'll give you, you know, some intro into Trinity War, and then it'll give you the beginning and end of Trinity War. And you'll really have what you need to know for Justice League in the Forever Evil event. You'll have what you need to know. So, I mean, if I got this at a discount because of my Barnes & Noble membership, and it was also during a buy two, get one free sale, so I got a whole other book free after I got this. This one wasn't free because it's one of the more expensive ones. But, to be honest, it's actually a pretty good price, because this is a thick book. This is about the thickness of a $30 book, but it's only a $20 book. Yeah, it says $19.99 on the back. So it's actually well priced for the size. So that's a good thing. But another little gripe I have is the Trinity of Sin, right? Which is one of the Trinities in this. The Trinities are the 3 Justice Leagues, the Trinity of Sin, and then Earth 3. Pandora gets her own book. Phantom Stranger had his own book before this. Where's the Questions fucking book? I want the Question dude. He's the best one. I actually prefer non-mystical Trinity of Sin Question. You know, the one that's just a dude. But you do what you gotta do, right? So yeah, that's that. Pandora, Question, Phantom Stranger, Justice League Dark, Justice League of America, and then the Crime Syndicate. All in all, the art's good. You know, it's not Geoff Johns' best work, to be completely honest, but he's also not the only writer, and there's multiple artists as well. You got Geoff Johns, Jeff Lemire, Ray Fox, Ivan Reis, Doug Mankey, Michael Janin. I think Michael Janin's the only one I'm not super familiar with out of all those names. But is it a bad book? No, but it's not super good either. I actually really do like the issue of Constantine that's in here where he steals Shazam's powers. That was pretty interesting. But it seems like this whole story is mostly just an excuse to watch these heroes fight each other. And the fights aren't even that great. They're kind of all over the place, too. Who's fighting who? Who's infected? The Pandora's box is in someone's different arm every time you see it, but it's not really explained how it got there. You don't see it move around some of the times. And it seems like there's stuff happening in other books outside of this, too. I felt those gaps when I read it originally. It's not the best event. It's just super mediocre. But, yeah, the event after it, Forever Evil, very good. I've already reviewed that. Check that out. We'll be reviewing Forever Evil Arkham War at some point, which is a side story to Forever Evil, but we'll get there. So, New 52, Justice League, Trinity War, all in all, mediocre. If you want to read all the New 52 Justice League stuff, this is, you know, part of it. And I got it. And now I'm all complete on my New 52 Justice League, even though I technically had all the Justice League issues because they were in Volume 4. But now I have the whole story in its entirety. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Leave comments saying what kind of books do you want us to do. You want us to do Marvel, DC, Boom, Oni Press, Dark Horse? What do you want? Do you want superheroes? Do you want more monster books, horror books, comedy books? What do you want? What do you want from us? And I also have single issue comic book reviews on my B3 Productions channel. If you watch the comic book haul videos I post, I do reviews of each single issue in those hauls. Very cool. And you'll also get to see these before that. They won't be reviewed in those, obviously, because I do that here, but you'll get to see what trades are coming up. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Rate, comment, subscribe, as I always say, and I'll see you all later. Hey YouTube, it's me, your boy B3, back with another graphic novel review video. Today, Forever Evil, an event book from DC, the second, actually the first line-wide event for New 52, technically, I think.
It was massive.
Because Trinity War wasn't line-wide, it was just Justice League stuff. But this was line-wide.
It's a doozy.
Yeah. We had Villains Month during this. They replaced all the regular titles except for Justice League. Actually, we had some for Justice League too, but we got a bunch of villain one-shots.
Okay.
About villains from those titles and stuff.
I like it. The villains are always more interesting than the heroes, in my opinion.
They had 3D covers that moved. It was
Sweet.
pretty dope. So yeah, Forever Evil. All the heroes, they're gone. X came, he gave them to him, knock knock. They opened up the door, it was real. Mm-hmm. Stainless steel, motherfucker. And with the heroes gone, except Batman, because they need him to sell as many books as possible.
Of course, he is, merchandising king right there.
Yeah, villains have to step up to stop the crime syndicate.
Whew.
Don't you ever speak while I'm speaking. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. About time you pitched in.
Trying to. But you're on a roll. I'm not going to stop you.
And,
Yeah, he's going to start dying again.
I got rid of my last cough, and there's a new cough now.
It doesn't change if you start coughing on video.
And most of the villains just join up with the crime syndicate, because they're like, screw it, we're going to chill out. But a lot of them
for a reason.
aren't about that. Lex Luthor, he's like, nah.
Nah, fam.
My ego's not going to allow that. Yeah, I know.
I need people to worship me.
Yeah.
And you're gonna like mess up all the people.
I'm not gonna.
I don't get my worship.
I'm not gonna let these aliens from another dimension talk down to me.
He does have a problem with aliens, doesn't he? Huh.
Just
Never seen that
superpowered
before.
ones.
So all of them.
Yeah, all of them in DC's continuity anyways, I guess. So yeah, Lex Luthor, and then Captain Cold doesn't want to hook up with him because he's just a...
He doesn't want to take orders from anybody either. He's kind of got that complex that he wants to.
Yeah,
He doesn't like to play with the team.
Well, he loves to play with the team. His whole thing is playing with the team.
Well,
Idiot. You fucking casual. Yeah. But I see what you mean though. He doesn't... He's just too low level.
yeah.
He just wants to rob banks. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to... Because they ordered him
He just wants a payday.
They ordered him to level his hometown. He was like, no. Millions of people live there. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So...
He just wants a payday.
Yeah, you know, Deathstorm and
His
Power Ring were after him. And then Lex Luthor let out his Bizarro.
Yeah.
So that was working for Lex. Black Manta didn't
Good
want to
design
work
for
with him.
Bizarro too.
Yeah,
I
love
liked
that
it.
look.
I really like that Bizarro design.
Me too. Probably my favorite Bizarro. Except for Superman animated series Bizarro. He's pretty great. My favorite Bizarro look is definitely...
Yeah, I was about to say the most respectable Bizarro look we have right here in our hands, but the Superman animated is classic. And then Justice League and all that good stuff.
Love it. But... like all these different villains that don't want to work with him. Black Adam, because he kind of sees himself as a hero. Anyways.
Yeah, as a liberator, if nothing else.
Yeah, and then Black Manta,
Mm-hmm.
because he thinks they killed Aquaman. He was like, no,
Nah.
that was my job. Now I have to kill all you guys.
It really reminds me of a lot of the Young Justice stuff. No, you weren't. You had to ask my permission to kill her. You had to ask my permission to kill
That was...
Arthur. It was Sportsmaster getting tipped
Sportsmaster.
about
Yeah,
Arthur's
yeah.
death. Spoilers!
Yeah, like all kinds of different baddies, and then they captured Nightwing. The crime syndicate did,
And
unmasked
him on TV.
international TV, so everyone knew Dick Grayson was.
Poor Richard Grayson.
Yeah,
They refer to him as Richard. All the villains do anyways, and I
Yeah.
found that just kind of bothersome for some reason.
and then only one person figured out Bruce Wayne was Batman after that somehow. Lex Luthor.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, so it's mostly this big group of villains, also with Batman running around, trying to stop the crime syndicate, and it's extra ace. It's dope. They get Sinestro on their side by kind of psychologying him into working with them. They pay Deathstroke after they take down the secret society, so they just pay him to betray the crime syndicate.
Yeah, he's a mercenary. That's what he does.
Yeah, and there's, you know, they just travel, big fights. They go to free Nightwing from the crashed watchtower that I keep wanting to say Trigon, but it's not Trigon. Despero. Despero brings it down, and that's where the crime syndicate's chilling out with Grid and etc. Cyborg stops Grid. That's in our next graphic novel review, though.
Oh, so awesome.
That's pretty cool. Love Cyborg.
Your boy.
My boy!
Who got really kicked around. He had it rough.
He did. That poor
In
guy.
this one, he only appears for a short little time, but he got de-exoskeleton is how I like to refer to it.
He's had it rough since his inception.
Ew.
But yeah, while they're fighting the crime syndicate, they free Earth 3 Alexander Luthor, who has the power to take other people's powers.
Which is trippy and terrifying.
It's pretty awesome. And it turns out he's the one that impregnated Superwoman. Superwoman was running around like, Ultraman, this
it's
is
your baby. And, Owlman, this is actually your baby. You should overthrow Ultraman. God,
Didn't really fool Owlman though. He knew. He knew whose baby it was.
But he wants that baby.
Yeah, he's gonna take that baby. He needs that baby.
He needs that baby.
He needs that baby.
The baby.
So yeah, they're all fighting Alexander Luthor. They beat him in a cool, clever way. They saved Superman's life because he had kryptonite poisoning.
Was Lex's job. Lex saved him.
They reveal the Anti-Monitor for Darkseid War. Very cool. Darkseid War is pretty awesome too. We'll get to that at some point also. But yeah, it's mostly just villains, fighting villains. Lex Luthor has a kind of change of heart at the end of this.
Yeah, we were discussing it earlier, and it's more like what you said, where he kind of realizes that he can get what he wants better through being the hero instead of the billionaire.
He just wants everyone to think he's the best ever. And he thought that by saving them from Superman he'd get that. But then he was like, I'll just save them from other stuff.
Yeah, like, just hop into that whole Justice League thing. They like those guys pretty well.
Yeah, so Forever Evil. You like it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
My problem is as a new comic book reader, I have a hard time with these cross,
Keeping
lines.
track with what's going on.
Oh my word! I think I actually even forgot which order I was supposed to read them in and read them in the wrong order originally. So I
What
started.
order did you read them in?
I think I went straight to 5 and 6. I think I attempted to go straight into back into the Justice League title. Got like a few pages and was like, "What the is going on?"
Yeah,
so I had to go back. So it was
Yeah, you don't know what's happening in Volume 5 if you're not reading
not
this.
reading that. Yeah, no, I made that mistake. I mean, I got maybe a quarter of the way through it before I was like, I fucking missed
I
something.
mean, when I bring these to you, I stack them up in the reading order for you.
Well, there was also a party here a couple weeks ago. My parents kind of came through.
I wasn't invited? Yeah, I think it was a really good, change-up of the type of comics you've been reading. Just getting to really just see villains do everything. In every title, it was all about the villains.
The
except
villains
for
are
Justice
far
League,
more
which was all
fascinating.
about Cyborg.
I will always hold that I think villains are far more fascinating. Good guys are, for the most part, run of the mill. Your anti-heroes are more entertaining, of course. And, of course, here's your kind of why you show up. But the villains are what keep you there. They're the interesting parts.
Yeah, they kind of have to be.
Yeah, oh yeah, they have to be. Especially in DC, where their conflict is always more internal about staying a hero and always being a hero and pooping like a hero and breathing on. Yeah.
Now it is. At this point, it wasn't. At
No,
this
no.
point, it's almost hard to tell the difference.
Fair.
Everyone was sad,
It
and
was
therefore I was sad.
This new Justice League New 52 was so dark.
I'm glad Action Comics finally ended New 52. It's over. I don't remember which issue it was, but it's done. Superman and they did something with the... I don't know.
This was a little off topic, but honestly, there's not a whole lot to say about Forever Evil. There's plenty to say, and then at the same time, it's like it's villains fighting villains.
That's just dope.
I mean, where
Dope.
what more did he really need to say?
And it's a pretty, for the most part, well-contained event.
It is,
Like, you could just read this
and know what's going on.
Get it.
For the most part, yeah.
Like, Cyborg shows up in the end, and you're like, what's he been doing?
I mean, and yeah, I mean, there's that scene where Batman and Catwoman are, bringing his ravaged remains minus exoskeleton, which is like 70% of him.
All you have to do is read the one issue of Justice League before this
Yeah,
to
and you're good to
understand
go.
that. And you're ace, you're
Yeah.
chief.
Absolutely.
You're chief queen. Now suck this beef.
No.
I like
No.
the rhyme. Follow me on SoundCloud. Anyways, you got anything else to say, big boy?
Not really, honestly. Yeah.
Sure, there you go.
Buddy.
Buddy.
Honestly, of course, the art was fantastic and thoroughly enjoyable. That's the one thing, I guess, about the New 52. Even if it is darker, I do like some of the grittier,
Looks.
artistry and some of the grittier looks, and I that does appeal to me. So art enjoyable. You talked about everything on the story though, and really, what more is there to say beyond villains fighting villains?
Oh, there's they have to fake Dick Grayson's death now, so people won't keep looking into stuff.
For him, yeah. But
I think because there was a Dick Grayson agent of Spiral thing. And Spiral's like a villain thing, but he was undercover or something. I didn't read it, but I recently heard it was very good. I'm never going to read it because it doesn't sound like something I would want to read. It's more of a spy book, I think, than it is a superhero book, which is fine.
Yeah, but
I'd read a spy book, but not that spy.
Fair enough.
I do want to read the Rebirth Night though.
Oh yeah, no, I'm really excited for all the Rebirth stuff.
Yeah, Papa gotta see that. Papa gotta read that.
I'm not gonna refer to you as Papa.
That's fine. That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, you really summed it up pretty well. Highly enjoyable. Highly recommend it. Make sure you know the context.
Yeah.
At least for me, that was really helpful. Don't skip this. You have to have this if you're going to do Justice League.
I remember when this came out, because a friend of mine and I were reading the issues of Trinity War.
Ooh.
Well, he was buying when I was just reading his. And he
Young
bought
mooch.
every single tie-in. Well, I was letting him read all my New 52 Batman stuff at the time, so...
Okay, we'll exchange favors. I see how it is.
Yeah. He bought every single tie-in, even the ones that weren't technically tie-ins, that were just kind of setting up for it beforehand. He got every single thing. And then as soon as it ended, a line-wide event started. And he was like, fuck this. I just bought every single Trinity War comic possible.
And then
this hit. So he has every issue of the regular Forever Evil title. And the one-shot Villains Months for the title he was reading. But he hasn't even read them yet. He can't even look at them.
Because he's so pissed about the line wide.
He's like, I can't even look at those, man.
I can't even blame him. I can't even.
So he has them, but he hasn't read them. I told him I'd lend him this if he just didn't want to look at them. He's like, that's fine.
But really, I'm looking for something to say more about this, and I got nothing. It's awesome.
I hope Bizarro comes back soon.
Me too.
But yeah, the main thing this really does is set up a bunch for Darkseid War.
Oh yeah.
Which is coming, and makes Lex Luthor a hero
guy.
Yeah, he does have an actual change of heart. Like, he's not just faking, because he was gonna
they lasso of truth him.
They did Lasso of Truth in 2 volumes from now.
No, not even 2. It's the next one.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Because the next one's just happening at the same time this is, and then it's volume 6, the Amazo stuff.
That's not 2 ahead. It's 1 ahead.
Fucking cash. It's 2 ahead. 1, 2.
Oh man.
It's 2 books.
In case y'all didn't know, I'm a fucking casual.
I think they get it.
Whew. Alright. No more while I can test the will of B3.
But yeah, that's it, I guess. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'm very funny, I swear. Did you see my tweet where I was like, the ladies call me Mr. Mistopheles because I am what I eat? Old pussy.
Pretty good. I'm not on Twitter.
Anyways, that's it. Thank you all once again. We'll be right back with Justice League Volume 5, Forever Heroes. And we're Forever Zeros. Hey YouTube, it's me, your chief, your ace, your homie, your god even.
Matty Matt.
This is Matty Matt, a little dwarf of a man. And we're here to talk about how the Holocaust didn't happen.
I'm gonna strangle him.
It did happen. 9/11 didn't though. Anyways, Justice League Volume 5, Forever Heroes. How about Forever Z? I made that joke last time.
You did make that joke last time. I'm thinking it was probably that blooper credit.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna throw it in an outtakes thing actually.
Outtakes the best.
But so this was just what was happening in Justice League while Forever Evil was going on. We did already review Forever Evil, so check that out. Mostly because we deserve it. We deserve it. You deserve the recognition. I deserve the cash.
I'd totally make that trade. You're broke. You need it.
The more of these they watch, the more graphic novels I buy, the more you get to read. So.
Hey, perfect.
I actually did cut my action figure budget in half to get more graphic novels.
Gas.
I don't remember the last time I bought an action figure.
No, that's a big deal.
It is. It is a big deal. I need like a sugar mama or something. Buy me toys and I'll chindo her. You ever seen a chindo? Those you strap on the chin. Yeah. Watch Workaholics. But yeah, so
I have.
It's a good show. Volume 5, Forever Heroes. It's mostly about what Cyborg's doing after they drop him off at Star Labs in Forever Evil, and before he shows up with Grid's corpse.
Yeah,
I guess you would say.
Mangled husk of empty metal.
This also gives you origins for all the Justice Society members that
which was
survived.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
It really was interesting.
I like the first thing we see in this is actually the destruction of Krypton.
Alternate destruction of Krypton.
Yeah, everyone's like trying to kill each other to get out of there.
It's Jor-El, I believe is his name.
Jor-El? Jor-El, yeah.
Ill. The illest.
The illest flow. Oh no. Here we go.
I shouldn't have said anything.
I'm a rapper. Follow me on SoundCloud, the Owl God. Anyways.
So, and like Jor-El's last line's like, screw you, wife. You're the worst.
Yeah, and he puts his little baby in the pod. And he leaves him these messages that are just like ragging on him, like you're a little weak piece of shit. When you get to Earth, kryptonite will make you strong. And
Eat it.
Stay away
Eat the
from sun.
kryptonite.
Yeah, he'll like eat it and he'll huff it like cocaine.
Like, and then if the sun, the yellow sun actually breaks down the kryptonite radiation in his body and removes his alternate powers. So I actually kind of like that idea.
This is pretty cheap.
Like, this is a really good reason to actually stay out of the sun and be the exact opposite of Superman.
Yeah, I think they've done that before for this character, but I always see him in like Crisis books and stuff. So this is I wouldn't really know, but I'm pretty sure they've done that before.
Oh no, as I thought, I hadn't read it before, and I thought it was a really cool point.
So yeah, he gets to Earth and then
The Kents are not a happily married couple.
No, they're in an abusive relationship, abusing each other.
Oh yeah, like she threatens to stab him, he threatens to beat her, and it's awful.
They're
it's
basically
like,
con artists too.
Yep.
And he's like, "You're my parents now." Kills them when he doesn't need them anymore.
At 7 when they try to escape or something, and like buries their corpses in the cornfield.
Yeah.
Burns everything down.
Pretty crazy. They don't
Like
give
a good super baby.
They don't really give one for Superwoman, actually.
No, they skip her over.
Yeah.
And then Owlman,
I like Owlman's.
I
Thomas Wayne Jr.
I really like
Junior.
that. So, for y'all who don't know, Owlman's backstory is that he is Bruce's older brother, Thomas, who does not exist in the main, Batman.
In New 52 Batman, in Night of the Owls, there's someone who may or may not be Thomas Wayne Jr. At the very least, they think they are Thomas Wayne Jr., and they do become the Prime Earth Owlman. So there are 2 Owlmen in this continuity, but one hasn't shown up again yet, so he might be dead.
Thanks, Encyclopedia.
You're welcome.
I didn't know this.
I have those single issues, but I am going to get that graphic novel for cheap.
Do it. Anyways, so Thomas is Bruce's older brother, who apparently is potential canon in other lines. And Thomas is really tired of his piece of crap dad wasting money and his piece of shit mom abusing them. And so instead of some mugger shooting his parents, Thomas pulls out a gun and shoots his parents. And
Well, he was going to do it, and
But
Bruce chickened out.
so he shot Bruce.
Yeah, he shot Bruce,
I think. And then Alfred shot the parents.
That was dope. I like Outsider Alfred.
Outsider Alfred's terrifying. Genuinely, just goes along with Thomas's every whim and kills without question or remorse. It's brutal.
And then Harold Jordan, Power Ring. Just like this little cowardly shrew of a man.
Who is apparently selling military secrets to other governments.
Through a peephole, which I'm sure isn't just for military secrets.
Sure.
He gets caught. They're going to beat the shit
Thoroughly
out of him.
beaten, yeah.
And
Bing!
that happens, sir. He's being tortured by Volthoom's ring.
Mm-hmm.
Not the only Volthoom's ring. There are 2 You know what? Never mind.
I can't handle that.
I think that's the only one in this continuity, maybe. Actually, that's not true. You know what? Let's move on.
Yes, please. I can't handle more.
So he becomes Power Ring, and one of the things that happens in here is Ultraman's just kind of curious about what's going on in this universe. So he goes to Daily Planet, and he's like, this Lois doesn't even have superpowers.
She looks like it, but nah. I can take out all of my vicious fantasies on you.
And Jimmy Olsen isn't a porn
A
dude.
psychopathic killer who apparently skinned somebody alive.
He did skin somebody alive. I forgot about that.
He was very disappointed in Jimmy.
Because Jimmy was decent. Pretty awful, man.
Really awful. And then Black Adam, nowhere. Bam!
Yeah, you get to see more of the Black Adam fight in here than you do actually in Forever Evil. It's very short in Forever Evil.
It's still not particularly long here, I don't believe.
It's really not. Because magic is like a big weakness for Superman, but it wasn't for Ultraman, so he just kind of broke Black Adam's jaw so he couldn't Shazam.
Which is a bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to beat Shazam if you can't Shazam.
In Owlman, one of my favorite parts is when Owlman takes over the criminal underworld of Gotham.
Oh my god.
Like in one fell swoop, because all the crime bosses met and stuff, and they were like...
He just wipes them all out and leaves one, and he says, you are going to run this for me.
Yeah, he was dangling 2 of them, and he was like...
Who can do it better?
Explain to me which one of you should live. And one guy was being a little bitch. He called him Batman on accident, and he just dropped that fool.
Instantly. And it was
so cool.
Bertinelli is now the new crime boss. Underneath.
Yeah.
It was Bertinelli. Underneath Owlman.
I think Geoff Johns must really like that trick where you make the two and then you use that. Because
He
remember
does
Black Adam in the Shazam story in the back
Yep.
of the Justice League? Shazam Volume 1, which we reviewed, he was like, you speak my language, you do not. Zap! That was so cool. Yeah, Geoff Johns likes that little trick.
I'm fine with it.
It was pretty cool. And then this guy gets melted, RoboCop style.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, that's like a...
That's pretty cool.
That's gruesome.
Forgot
I had to
about
look
that
away
image.
a little bit there.
Ooh.
Made a dude smoothie.
And
Nice.
Owlman's trying to put Nightwing on their side.
And he does it.
Sort of. Not because he's like, I need to take down the crime syndicate before
Yeah.
I do anything.
And he sells Nightwing on that
And
idea.
Nightwing was like, that's kind of the biggest threat in the world at the moment.
I can get on board with that, and I can deal with you later when it's not you and all your buddies.
Yeah, and most of this thing's narrated by Grid. All the origin stories and stuff are because he's going through files.
Yeah.
Kind of gives a reason for this exposition and stuff. He's trying to feel an emotion,
Yeah.
which
His
he
machine
has
does not feel.
not done.
Ever.
Which is pretty cool. By the end of it, he does feel an emotion, and it's fear. He's afraid of Cyborg.
He's afraid of being left alone.
Yeah.
That's so sad. Like, it reminds me, honestly, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Envy from Full Metal Alchemist.
I love Full Metal Alchemist. You should watch Code Geass. I rewatched that recently.
I have watched Code Geass.
Oh, you did watch Code Geass?
Revolution of the Rebellion.
So good. Shirley! Anyways. And then Johnny Quick and Atomica's origins.
Yes, they're
Bonnie and Clyde of themselves.
they're so Bonnie and Clyde. I had to laugh out loud a little bit at that.
Yeah, and they're about to like jump to their deaths so the cops don't get them after they torture their world's version of Heatwave and Captain Cold, who are just corrupt cops.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then the lightning strikes Star Labs, and they both get superpowers at the same time, which kind of almost like bonds them even more, and they're pretty tight.
Yeah, because Johnny gets struck by lightning. This is the evil Johnny Quick, not the good Johnny Quick.
Yeah, and then the
His daughter is
atomic
Jessie
is
Quick.
by the
She falls into Ray Palmer's experiment.
yes,
She gets all atomized or whatever, but not actually atomized.
atomic-ized.
Yeah, pretty cool. And they fix Cyborg up.
Dude can't get a break.
He's much sleeker now. He was all big and bulky.
Well, he specifies, I want to look more human. I don't want to look like a walking tank.
He does look better. He looked cool before, but this looks better.
But I mean, and he's right. He did look like a freaking walking tank.
But he's still kind of filled out. He doesn't look like he's too thin.
He's
in
not
places.
reedy. He's just.
Yeah, that's the problem I have with the Justice League movie Cyborg. He looks like really thin in the knees and elbows and stuff. Like you can just snap him. It's like, how are you fitting a sonic cannon in there? Then there's some Doom Patrol stuff, which I don't really care about.
Yeah,
We'll talk about Doom Patrol later. All
That
they
kind of
do-
came out of nowhere.
All
for
they
me.
do here is just die.
Yeah.
That's it. It's almost just a teaser for the next volume of Justice League is all it is. Blah, blah, blah. Doom Patrol, don't care. And they go into the real Red Room, which has all the better alien tech.
It's. I thought all this stuff was like even Cyborg was caught by surprise. Like I thought all this stuff was destroyed. And even his dad was like, "Nah, man, look at this stuff. It's cool. We gonna keep it."
And then Cyborg's like, I need a team, so he goes to get the Metal Men. Continuity error, the one we promised to talk about back in Justice League Volume 4.
Yes. So, you want to? I
Do you
feel
want
like
to mention it? You go ahead. You
all
talk
right.
about
So
it.
Justice League Volume 4, Platinum, one of the Metalmen, ends up attending kind of that summit of who's going to maybe be part of the Justice League. And then she goes absolutely batshit nuts and starts breaking stuff, and Atomica uses it as an opportunity to mess around and start go ahead and plotting the crime syndicate's invasion-y stuff. That's basically short version. Well, guess what? In this one, we find out there's no way Platinum could have gone off and done that.
No way. There's no room in her origin.
None. Her origin is she's made, she dies. I mean, they die
Yeah, and then,
within 24 hours of being created, and then he keeps
and you're
them,
with them the whole time. You
Yeah.
see like everything they do.
and all they do is like stalk their creator for a little while. Magnus, they stalk him because they don't know where else to go, and then they save him from what did you call him?
Chemo, that happens later. I think.
They save him.
No,
it's right there.
that is in the that's in the flashback. Never mind. You're right.
Casual.
The irony, dude.
So, they save him from chemo by sacrificing all of themselves and diving into his chemicals, and they all dissolve in the acid.
They're not dead because their core is
Because
still
their core is
exists.
still alive, but he takes the cores and he keeps them safe because he can't handle losing them all again, because Magnus actually, despite the fact that he hates people, he really loves the Metalmen.
Yeah.
So there's no way that Platinum could have actually been on the Watchtower to cause a distraction for Tomoko to start doing the whole crime syndicate thing. So it's all bullshit!
Just one of the many continuity errors in this. And most of the continuity errors in New 52 were outside because they wanted to like keep a bunch of continuity but not a bunch of continuity.
Yeah, that's always seemed like the weirdest contradiction.
So it was really sketchy. I'll have to explain stuff about the Sinestro Corps War to you when you read that. Because the Sinestro Corps invasion of Earth happened in the New 52, but it didn't happen with all the characters that were in it. Like Superboy Prime couldn't have been there. Anti-Monitor could not have been there. Things like that.
You are going to have to explain this. Maybe this might take a whole video, honestly.
Even though Superboy Prime is.
Do you want to do like a like top 10 worst continuity errors in New 52?
We might. You know what? That might be something cool we need to do at some point. Maybe. Possibly.
Just saying. People love top 10 videos.
That's true.
We'd get a bunch of views.
Like, I've done a few. Top 10 dicks to suck. Top 10 times a dick joke somehow made it into my mother's eulogy. Top 10 times my dad spanked me and made me call him Big Papa.
Yeah, you need to talk to a therapist about that one.
These are jokes, by the way. But yeah, so Cyborg gets the Metal Men together. They go to fight Grid.
Who, because the Metal Men are actually off the grid. See what I did there?
Yes, I did.
So because they're off the grid, he doesn't see him coming in that first hit.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Rhyming. Follow me on SoundCloud. I'm a rapper or whatever. So they fight Grid, who's kind of just kicking their asses the whole time, for the most part.
Pretty much. He electrocutes the crap out of Mercury.
Yeah, and eventually he like links his mind with Cyborg's, and they fight in the digital world. Digimon, digital monster.
Yeah, no, Digimon.
Yeah, but the Grid calls like a whole team of baddies to fight.
Which most of them use psychic powers, which doesn't work on robots.
Well, who do they got here?
They kick their frickin' asses.
They got like Simon.
Yep.
Who's this motherfucker? I know his name. Dr. Psycho, I think. Okay. I don't know who this dude is, or this dude, or this chick.
She looks like she's.
Is this Onyx? What's her name? I don't remember.
Dude, you're the encyclopedia here.
These are very D-list.
He's Mammoth, isn't he? I think it's Mammoth.
I think you might be right, actually.
Because he appeared in Teen Titans with the same color scheme and design except for the beard.
And of course Hector Hammond, probably the most known one there.
Probably. So yeah, the Metal Men kick their frickin' asses. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Cyborg locks Grid inside the Grid body.
So that shell of an exoskeleton that used to be Cyborg's first body.
Yeah, so the Grid AI still exists, it's just trapped.
Completely cut off?
At the point of this. It comes back later. We'll get Grid later.
Okay. Spoilers.
They set up more crime syndicate stuff at the end of all this junk. Mm-hmm. Like when they were interrogating, like when they locked Superwoman away. I think that's actually in the Forever Evil book.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty cool.
But, I mean, otherwise it does focus almost entirely on Cyborg. I don't think anybody else really pops up, do they?
Well, this other group of villains pops up at the end, but that's just so the Metal Men don't have to follow Cyborg to the Watchtower.
Yeah, it was literally just a distraction, plot MacGuffin-y thing.
Yeah, it looks like Electrocutioner, Tar Pit, Parasite, this one guy who I recognize but whose name I don't know. Same with this guy, actually. I always see them together. I don't know who they are, and this chick who I don't know at all. But yeah, and then Cyborg goes back to the Watchtower, and that the continuation of his story is in fact in Forever Evil. Sorry, I want to think that's in the past because we already did the review.
And look, and this is why I was complaining in the last review about the continuity and me being a scrub to all this, having a really hard time following what's going on.
Yeah, and part of that's just because it's graphic novels.
Yeah, the compilation's not the publishing order and how everything was intended, but it is difficult for me. I'm stupid.
Because you would have been reading this and Forever Evil mixed together if you read them by the issue.
Yeah, that would happen. I tried to read that one first, and that was a mistake.
Yeah, I told you to read Forever Evil first, man. The only choice you had in reading order was the last volume of Justice League and the Power of the Gods one-shot collection.
I couldn't remember. Okay, so he leaves me a stack of these. And by stack, I mean like, what, 7? On top of
6, I think.
6 on top of the stack that I already had. It was like all right there in the same spot, right? So I pick it up and move it back into
Well, I left you some, and then I came back to do reviews and watch Dragon Ball Super and stuff, and you hadn't touched the ones I left you, and I already had another stack for you, so I was like, screw it, I'll just leave
That did double up. I'm inconsistent, y'all. These videos take a while because of me, honestly. Don't blame him.
Also, I don't
blame
have-
him for other
yeah.
things, but not for that.
I gotta come here to use your internet to put them up anyway.
Got him at balls.
Big old balls. Big old sack. But, yeah, this is pretty good.
I enjoyed it, especially if you like Cyborg. You will enjoy this. And I
in
know
this,
Cyborg's your
yeah,
boy.
in this book, the Ivan Reese faces aren't that bad. They are on gold. They're really bad on gold of the Metal Men.
Oh god.
His faces are pretty bad. But for the most part, these faces are alright.
I'll complain about. That's the next one we talk about. I will be
Ooh,
complaining.
Volume 6? The faces are
Frickin'
terrible in Volume 6.
Shazam's face looks like he got jet puffed at the marshmallow factory.
He looks like Sylvester Stallone.
No, he looks like Sylvester Stallone ran in face into a brick wall repeatedly.
Sylvester Stallone at the end of Rocky.
No.
But without the purple coloration.
Yeah, without the purple coloration and without the charm and charisma. Cut me! Cut me! Sorry.
We shouldn't make fun of Sylvester Stallone.
No, he's far more successful than
He's
we'll
a
ever
rich
be.
bitch.
He's far more successful than we'll ever be.
He wrote Rocky. People don't know that. He
He
wrote
wrote
it.
Rock, and it's fantastic. Now, he was part of the writing team for all the other Rockies that were less
Not good.
necessary.
I like Rocky 4. It's dumb, but
Is that the one? That's the one versus Drago and Russia and all that.
yeah, that one mostly just makes me laugh. Actually,
I'm okay with the follow-up. I'm okay with 2, I guess 3, because mostly because I love it. We are totally
We're talking
off
about-
topic.
this show's about Rocky now. We should just talk about Rocky.
We should totally just cut this shit right before we got off on a Rocky.
Every one of these videos is going to be about a Sylvester Stallone movie. We're even going to cover the pornos he did. All right, we're. Did he? I think he did when he was homeless. Yeah,
He did. So did Jackie Chan.
I did not know that. I
Jackie
knew
Chan.
Vin Diesel did.
Jackie Chan did adult films.
I did a little bit.
Yeah,
Behind
that's
camera.
not. That's
it's
not.
like, I'm just kidding.
That's not published.
I would do it though. Like if someone wanted me to be the cameraman or just like hold a flashlight while adults do things, I'd be all over that. It's good.
You hear that, porn industry? Your next big cameraman right here.
Also, very round butt. Tight anus. Alright, that's it for this one. Justice League, Volume 5, Forever Heroes. Check it out. It's a good book.
And will hopefully help you recover from the scarring of our last 5-minute conversation.
And don't worry, we'll get into Rebirth real soon. As soon as we're done with New 52 Justice League, we're jumping straight into Rebirth Superman.
And we're close. We're
Yeah.
close to the end.
My goal right now is to get us to Rebirth Flash, because it's like really good. We should have Dwayne come for one of those.
Oh,
Dwayne's reading Rebirth Flash. He's farther ahead than I am.
Huh.
I only because I'm reading the graphic novels. He's reading the issues.
Alright, it's time to cut this one off, man.
All right, let's get out of here. See you guys.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it on Facebook, follow him on Twitter, do all that good stuff.
Share lots of dick
And
pics.
pretend he didn't say that.
Hey YouTube, it's me, your boy B3, and
Matty Matt.
Matty Matt. Back with another comic book, graphic novel review video. Ooh, I'm a tough guy. Today we have the next volume of New 52 Justice League. Justice League Volume 6. What's it called? Injustice League. I knew that, because I own this. Yeah. So, you read this most recently, correct?
I suppose I did.
When was the last time you read this?
It's been a couple
Recently,
weeks,
a
but more
couple
recently than
weeks.
you, I believe.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna let you do this.
Oh gosh, okay. So you'll have to forgive my poor memory after the last couple weeks.
You'll
So-
remember Darkseid War a lot better. You just read that today. So you're good.
Recapped it today. I've read it twice actually now then.
Chief
Alright.
dude.
So this actually picks up after a little bit of a time gap, or a time skip, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Because
it shows Lex Luthor.
Lex
and then
Luthor is already
4
part of
days earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Begins in a time skip where Lex Luthor saves the world, all that good stuff.
Because forever evil. He was the hero of that or whatever.
Yeah. So, picks up there, and he's actually trying to reform his image. And he's, from a very selfish perspective, you can kind of see how he got to that conclusion. It's literally just because he thinks he can get what he wants easier if people hero worship him. He always wanted to be hero worshipped. He thought he needed to save people from the Justice League to really make himself.
Yeah, mostly Superman.
Mostly Superman, mostly that xenophobia, space xenophobia. But he realized that the easier way to do it was just tag along with the Justice League and keep doing what they're doing. So
Yeah, they even lassoed a truth him. And,
Yeah, and it's true. Well, at least that's what he was thinking at the time.
Yeah, and he brought Shazam into the league, which we've been waiting for forever.
But man,
Those Ivan Reese faces, is that what you're thinking about?
I commented on this, and I am sorry if Ivan Reese is reading this right now, or watching this right now.
Yeah, you think Ivan Reese is...
I hope to God not, but...
Going back, watching these two nobodies review his old work?
I hope
it's
not.
relatively recent as far as comics go, I guess.
But, just... Does this show up well enough for me to point...
Just get up in there, homie.
Look at Lex's face. He looks
Show
like...
him that Shazam face while he's at the table.
He looks like... I get that these guys are big and buff and strong, but their faces are not muscles to be worked out.
Yeah, they got some weird faces. So does Elongated Woman, but hers are kind of supposed to be weird.
I hope this is showing up.
God, let me do it.
Thank you.
Shit.
I did it, actually.
You're bad at this, dude. Here, I got the perfect example. I remember one that's really bad.
Oh, when he's sipping champagne?
Yeah, that's a...
No, look, he looked punch drunk in that last one I just showed him.
This one right here. I mean, he's supposed to be making a nasty face, but his face already looks nasty.
Yeah, he doesn't need the help.
Yeah, he does not need the help there.
And for the record, I peeked over the top of that, and I did get it on camera.
Nice, dude.
Fuck off.
That's ace, dude. So yeah, they end up letting him in because they're having a bit of an image problem. Kind of the same reason they made the entire Batman-Superman movie, because of Superman's image problem. So...
And that did... Okay, just to be... For the record, that movie did not help the image problem.
It didn't help anything. That movie sucks, except for Wonder Woman, who was dope.
Yeah, she's literally... Anyways.
But yeah, they end up having to fight the Doom Patrol, which is going to fight the new Power Ring, Jessica Cruz, who is now, you already know this, a Green Lantern.
Yeah. Well, spoilers. For them.
For them? What they're watching, what are they expecting?
Anyways.
I put a little spoiler warning at the beginning of all of these, so it's okay. I just try to be careful.
Fair. Okay, so yes, Jessica Cruz, who is now Power Ring, having inherited the previous Power Ring from the guy whose name is literally only Power Ring. Can we say Power Ring again in that sentence?
Yeah, it was Harold Jordan. He was Harold Jordan.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Trash.
It says it like once, and then they refer to him as Power Ring forever and always.
Yeah.
So, she's a new Power Ring, and Power Ring is really fueled on fear instead of courage.
Yeah,
so,
it more wears the person than anything.
Yeah, she's got that voice in her head, and it's not diagnosable.
Volthoom.
Volthoom, that's right. I couldn't think of the name. It's weird.
You gotta learn shit, man. But yeah, then there's a little bit where they're just like saving people from disasters. Lex Luthor's trying to learn what it means to be a hero.
And then...
Yeah, and then they're kind of like trying to get him arrested, and before they do that, the Amazo-virus kind of gets out, doesn't it?
Neutron attacks Lex Luthor.
Oh, right, Neutron.
Because there's a massive bounty on Lex's head. We'll talk about that in the next issue. But there's a massive bounty on Lex's head, and Neutron is looking to collect on that. So he runs into this, essentially, press conference, goes nuclear, attempting to kill Lex, and he accidentally releases the Amazo-virus, which, much like Amazo, the robotic supervillain, the Amazo-virus begins to spontaneously generate powers in whoever gets infected with it.
Yeah, the powers, there's like 3 stages. One where it's basically like the flu, and then they get their power.
And then they die.
Pretty much, yeah.
Within 24 hours, usually.
Or they go into like a catatonic state where they can be controlled like a hive mind later.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I remember the hive mind.
Yeah. So, eventually they're trying to find the original source, the original person to be infected with the Amazo-virus, who they think is responsible for spreading the virus at the rate that it is going.
Patient Zero.
Patient Zero. There we go. Couldn't think of the phrase. So, Patient Zero turns into basically an Amazo battle, where he biologically copies the League's powers.
Which is actually way cooler than Robot Amazo.
So
it's pretty cool.
Because instead of just science, it's like
it's science!
Amazo watches Superman fly, and so Amazo, or Patient Zero, I should say, grows wings. Okay. So it was a really cool spin on it. I thoroughly enjoyed the change from a robot to a giant killer virus organism thing.
Batman got infected for a little bit.
Got electric powers. powers. No, he went.
Didn't. He got like bat sonar.
Sorry, I'm thinking. Yeah, sorry, bat sonar. My bad. For some reason.
Trash. You're a trash man who lives in a trash can. Leave.
And apparently, I'm also a trash fan.
This looks not bad.
No. No, I'm saying I'm a fan that is trash.
Oh yeah, you are a trash fan.
Okay.
Because you're a filthy fucking casual.
We
can't do one of these without me calling you a fucking casual.
You need to have something that pops up on the screen that just fucking casual.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Whoa. Fucking casual count, like the Krillin Owned count.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take the time to do that.
That would be funny.
No.
So, anyways,
would be funny.
The problem is that the virus has a different effect on metahumans, where it takes away your metahuman powers. So the Flash, Aquaman, anybody who's human with powers is now put on powers. And Aquaman is technically human because he's Atlanteans evolved on a parallel, channel with humans. So there still is enough apparently DNA for him to be affected.
They've kind of got more of a magic origin because they had to sink Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know Atlantis' specific origin.
So Atlantis has a first king that ended up being...
Yeah, but I don't know the New 52 specific origin, like what is canon for the New 52. I don't know. You might know if you ever bought those Aquaman graphic novels. You promised them that you would. Unless
Wikipedia
you do
works
actually know
too.
it. Yeah, which you don't use.
I did. That's what I was about to say.
Oh, so you did look up the New 52?
Atlantis was sunk by a vindictive first king who was attempting to reclaim power from his brother who murdered his wife and children to take the throne. Very much an Orm Arthur story all over again.
Oh yes, that's a little different than the Atlantis story I'm used to.
And he also created 7 artifacts, and the the Trident of Poseidon is one of these artifacts.
Yeah, I knew about the artifacts. I think there's one that's also like a bunch of little crystal animal things.
Yes, but that is off topic, and we can discuss that later.
We'll see that in Rebirth.
Yes, we will.
So that's fine.
But really, it's the Justice League handling the Amazovirus and Patient Zero.
And dealing with Lex Luthor.
It's more of a setup for him as part of the Justice League and how he functions on the team, or doesn't function on the team, I should say.
2 more volumes of Lex Luthor, quote-unquote, on the team, and then he's not on it for Rebirth Justice League. Yeah. They get rid of him. They get rid of Shazam. Superman dies.
And then they replace him with a better Superman.
Yeah, and then we get 2 Green Lanterns.
Hal Jordan and...
Wrong.
No, that's right, because he...
Hal Jordan's just doing stuff in space. He's like leading the Green Lantern Corps right now, as far as I've read, anyways. I'm not all caught up.
But that's a different discussion for a different day.
Yeah,
so,
we'll do that
thoughts.
later.
The artwork. It's actually Doug Mankey.
Oh, well, he does Reese-Face then.
Doug Mankey Face is a totally different thing here. Doug Reese, I apologize for before. Doug. Whew.
No, I didn't know there was a creative shift in this volume.
There's a couple.
Now I'm the filthy fucking casual dude. I didn't know, dude. I thought the creative team swap came in for Dark Side War. I thought that's when there was a shift.
I guess it was one issue before on the art department, anyways.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I think it's Geoff Johns the whole way through.
Yeah, Geoff Johns the whole way through.
Yeah.
So, otherwise, the story is actually very straightforward. It's lovely and straightforward, and I thoroughly enjoy it for that.
Element Woman comes back. My girl, Element Woman.
His favorite.
I don't know what happens to Captain Cold after this.
Captain Cold's still bumming around being Lex Luthor's head of security. He appears in the next Justice League.
But he's a rogue now. He's a rogue again, and I don't know where he...
It's probably because he's not getting a payoff from Lex anymore.
Maybe. I don't know. I just don't know what happened. I just don't know what happened.
Well, if you are a fan of Captain Cold and you want to let us know, just comment after the video.
I don't know. When I catch up on Flash, maybe I'll tell you. I'm reading the graphic novels for most of Rebirth, so I'm behind everyone else except for on Batman and Events.
Well, I've pretty much said my piece here. The storytelling is straightforward. The art's a little jankety-jank sometimes on the faces. Otherwise, it's easy to follow and it's been enjoyable.
Maybe faces are just hard.
They have to. I'm sure they are the hardest thing to draw, frankly.
The 2 things it seems like artists get wrong are faces and women's bodies that can't possibly exist. You ever see that cover art of Spider-Woman where her back is like broken because she's in this sexy pose? I'll show it to you sometime.
Oh god, is she just like bent over that low or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember who drew that, but they're a Rob Liefeld of themselves. You ever seen that Rob Liefeld Captain America with his weird ass?
No.
I'll show you after this.
God. Okay. Yeah, so any other thoughts there?
No, we pretty much covered it. I mean, it's no big event. There's not a lot of huge setup. It's just a bunch of stuff to get Lex Luthor in the league, really.
Pretty much.
And establish him before immediately taking him away.
Pretty much.
But then they have him in Action Comics now, so I guess that's cool. He's actually pretty dope.
You know, honestly, we've talked so much less about the comic in this video than everything else
I think
possible.
we're mostly saying, like, this is how it connects to the current stuff.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is actually
relevant,
almost more relevant if you think about it.
And really, that is more of a connecting point. It's just one of those branches on the web of the DC universe.
Yes, I mean, this is the book that really introduces Jessica Cruz. She's not a Green Lantern yet in this book, but she will be.
And she's incredibly relevant as part of the Darkseid War.
Yeah, and see, one of the current Green Lantern books is Green Lanterns, which is about two Green Lanterns, the rookies, Simon Baz, who was established early in New 52 Green Lantern, and her as a Green Lantern. And they're just Earth Green Lanterns. They don't leave Earth. They just do Earth stuff.
Alright.
Since they're rookies. And it's just about her and him. She's not a very good Green Lantern.
I hate to say I'm not really surprised.
I mean, she's an agoraphobe, so... It's kind of, and the ring is powered by will, and its enemy is fear.
And she is constantly terrified. Yeah, you make a valid point.
Poor girl.
But so far as Justice League Volume 6 goes, that's about all I got left to say.
Boop, boop. That's it. So thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out the cool links in the description below. Check out my SoundCloud. Whoa, SoundCloud. My Twitter. No one's retweeting me. No one's retweeting. I'm funny. I'm a funny guy.
You're pretty funny. You had me cracking up with your tweets.
I'm a funny dude.
I don't twat, but I'm sure I would enjoy it.
Twat? Did you say twat?
Yeah. Isn't that the past tense of tweet?
No. Just tweeted.
Yeah, it sounds stupid.
But yeah, next we're doing Justice League Volume 7, The Darkseid War, Part 1.
If he makes it that long.
I always get coughs before I come to your house. I swear I'm not coughing in the comic book collection updates and stuff I'm making for my single issues, which you can see on my Beat Through Productions channel. All my single issue comics I buy are over there. I get lots of Marvel, Boom Studios, Oni Press, IDW. I don't just read DC, even though our review lineup for graphic novels makes it seem that way.
Well, and frankly, that's a courtesy to me because I'm probably most interested in DC, and you were trying to get me into it.
I figured the easiest way to get you balls deep into current DC continuity would be current Justice League, because it's all the big characters that have the most effect on the universe together.
Frankly, I just want to know where Aquaman went.
Well, buy Volume 2 and you'll see what happens, homie. Of yours. And then you can read the other volumes. As soon as because you have Volumes 3, 4, and 5 of Aquaman. We've already uploaded Volume 1 review. You gotta get Volume 2 so we can review that and all the other ones. And we gotta review those
You're right.
Muslim ones too. And we gotta review, I can't remember the name of those graphic
Let's not give them too much. Let's keep them on tension.
Yeah, but we'll have Marvel and all kinds of stuff coming too. I even see, I'm repping. I can do that. This is a very long outro. So, thank you all once again. We'll see you all later. Hey YouTube, it's me, your boy B3, back for another kickin' graphic novel review. Today we have Justice League Volume 7, The Darkseid War Part 1, Geoff Johns, Jason Fabok, who I thought came in on this, but he came on in Injustice League, actually.
And who's the artist on this one?
Jason Fabok.
Oh.
And then he's the... And then I think, is Brian Anderson the colorist? I don't know. The third name always confuses me.
Mankey was the artist in the last one. Doug Mankey.
Oh, maybe...
That's why I wasn't sure if Fabok was the artist.
I'm confused, man.
Well,
usually in the back... Sometimes in the back it's more... We should have done this beforehand.
Probably.
Sometimes in the back it's more specific. I don't know. You just talk.
Alright, so while you figure that out, I'm going to go ahead and jump y'all right into whatever. Volume 7. This starts off really confused me very much off the beginning because I thought I had missed something, and I might very well have. That's generally what I assume at this point.
Where does it start off?
It begins on Themyscira.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's a big flashback to, like, the night of Wonder Woman's birth.
The night of Wonder Woman's birth was a wonderful evening, and Zeus sent a massive storm to keep enemies away from his daughter, who was being born.
Or is it his daughter?
It's
Which is what Wonder Woman Rebirth has us asking now. Ooh, I can't wait. I'm going to bring you that next, dude.
Alright. I love Wonder Woman.
So good.
Anyways, that's what it gives me in this one. I know nothing else beyond that. So Zeus is sending out this massive storm, and in the middle of this storm, actually another baby is born to another Themysciran Amazonian warrior.
What?
This time, not Amazonian.
Tim the Cool Man Taylor. My neighbor looks over the fence. I'm not funny.
I don't know what to do with you.
Let's start over. I'm just kidding.
So, another woman, Marina Black, I believe is what she goes by later on, an Amazonian assassin, also has a baby that night, except this baby is Darkseid's child.
Darkseid's nasty little cretin baby. He's
gray.
in her, dude. I bet his dick is just huge. It's like a big old... I bet it looks like one of those Stonehenge rocks, but rounder. For real. Because he's like gigantic in this, and she's like... What? 6 foot? Because Amazons are tall or whatever.
I don't know what I'm going to do with him, y'all. So...
I'm just asking what everyone who read this book was thinking, dude. I am.
You're not... Okay, I'd be lying if I said I didn't question that myself. But, so when the soon-to-be-named Grail, the child of Marina and Darkseid, is born, she is gray-skinned, and a nearby Themysciran oracle is going nuts because this child apparently is going to destroy Earth.
Yeah, she has all these visions about the dark side. War.
She starts screaming that Clark and Bruce and Diane and all will suffer and suffer and suffer, and the assassin ends up killing both of her.
And they did suffer because the New 52 existed, so...
Well, yeah. So
we all suffered a little bit for that sin.
Someone's salty. So, someone's saltier than Aquaman's suit.
Superman was bad, dude. Can we talk about that for a second? You know what? Never mind. Keep going.
So, Grail is born, and her mother flees, and with the objective of training her to end up eliminating Darkseid.
Ooh, she actually wants to train her to be a good person, because killing Darkseid's like not even a bad thing if you think about it.
Oh no, it's not a bad thing at all.
It's pretty ace, cheap even if you think about it.
So
dank? Would you say it's dank?
What
about dope?
I would say Chief.
Chief? Okay, Chief.
I give Chief. So we are then immediately time skipped over to a completely different thing that is being narrated by Metron. Okay, that's an awkward name to say for some reason to me. So Metron is sitting on the Mobius chair, and he's an all-knowing observer who knows all the past and present, but does not know the future.
Yeah,
he can probably take a good guess at it.
He's the watcher of himself.
He's basically Marvel's or DC's Uatu, the Watcher.
The way I see it, yeah. I mean, he was created by Jack Kirby, who's known for Marvel stuff, because he did all this art and stuff with Stan Lee.
Okay.
Jack Kirby created all that New Gods junk, and Darkseid and everything.
Alright. Well, we are then...
Fun fact, or whatever.
I'm just trying to stay on topic, because the last episode we were not on topic.
No, but I'm adding facts. I'm adding the facts. I'm giving you the facts, dude.
I appreciate it.
That's shit people gotta learn from YouTube and junk, man.
I'm just saying Wonder Woman's sword looks like Sting from The Lord of the Rings.
And see, now that's off topic.
So, we are then treated to Mr. Miracle's backstory about how he was a new Genesis child sent to Apocalypse to potentially end the fighting and the warring, and it didn't actually work. And then we cut away again. You can see how I got confused. We cut away again to people hunting down for somebody named Marina Black. We were not aware of the Amazonian woman's name before this.
Yeah, so they're just like killing Earth women.
Apocalypse assassins kill an Earth woman named Marina Black.
Yeah, it's Steppenwolf and one of the Furies. I don't remember which.
Steppenwolf. Yeah.
Steppenwolf's not a Fury though.
No, he's not. He's an assassin. He's Apocalypse or Darkseid's favorite assassin.
I feel like.
No, it says he's Darkseid's favorite assassin.
No, I'm just wondering. I don't remember what happens because Steppenwolf, is this a different Steppenwolf than the one in Earth 2? Because the Darkseid.
This one's got some badass armor with horns and a beard, and I think his design's fantastic. That's about all I got for you.
Yeah, but is this Steppenwolf the same one that attacked Earth 2? Because that Darkseid is the same Darkseid. But do they have different Steppenwolves?
I doubt it.
Huh? But I'm pretty sure Bizarro killed that Steppenwolf on Earth 2.
See, this is what you're supposed to know, you fucking casual.
You didn't know any of that junk, you trash man. I haven't reread my Earth 2 stuff because I can't find my Volume 1. I have no idea what I did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I bet it's under my futon or some shit. I don't know. I'll find it.
So, we bounce immediately back to the Justice League trying to solve all these
Murders of
deaths.
themselves? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then, out of literally fucking nowhere, Grail shows up.
Doesn't she come through the Flash?
Yeah, literally.
She comes, like, out of
through
his
the Flash's mouth. She just... Why the Flash is an appropriate medium for teleportation, I do not know.
Speed Force. Speed Force is always the answer.
Apparently.
Speed Force can do, like, anything.
But she shouldn't have any access to the Speed Force. She's not a speedster.
Oh, but the Speed Force is like a dimensional... It's like the Morphin Grid. You remember the Morphin Grid? That's how I think of the speed. Yeah, we'll do the Power Rangers Aftershock graphic novel eventually.
So, yeah, Grail pops up out of Flash's mouth and immediately begins kicking the absolute living shit out of the League. She literally impales Shazam through the chest.
Oh, you just got dead.
Right through that lightning bolt on his chest.
In your dick.
Then we cut away to Superman and Lex Luthor talking about Lex Luthor curing cancer. And then he gets shot by his sister because she's the one who put the bounty out on his head. They got Neutron to blow up everything in the last issue.
Yeah, it turns out she hates him for crippling her.
And she also screamed for Darkseid.
For Dankside.
That's what you.
Puff.
That's what you scream.
Dankside should be a villain, dude.
I should also say that really Mr. Miracle's exit strategy is Mother Box, get me out of here. And he says it like 4 times in the first half of this issue.
I mean, Mother Boxes are connected to the source, which is basically the energy that created everything. They can do pretty much whatever you want.
I'm just saying, though, like, that's his escape strategy. That's why he's Mr. Miracle, is he can escape anything if he's got his Mother Box, just take him somewhere else.
Now, he is a master escape artist also.
Yeah, that's true. But still, like, his fallback plan is Mother Box. Get me
Only being to ever escape Apocalypse. He did it without Mother
Barda
Box.
escaped.
Because he helped Barda escape.
Well, fair. But that doesn't make him the only person to escape.
That's a good point.
So, anyways, Grail shows up leading the Anti-Monitor. The Anti-Monitor is the thing that destroyed the Crime Syndicate's planet, and the Anti-Monitor then uses...
Crime Syndicate's universe.
Yeah, universe, sorry. I should...
That dude's powerful.
He's terrifying. He uses Power Ring's Power Ring is basically a gateway to get through. It's like a locator beacon because it's been to the other dimension, and it's a remnant.
Yeah, and it's like working for him, straight up.
Oh yeah, straight up. It's cool with him. So Anti-Monitor comes through, the Crime Syndicate gets back together, they break Ultra Woman out of Belle Rev because they need to know more about how to stop the Anti-Monitor. That was Cyborg and Wonder Woman, I should specify. And
Barda helps.
And Barda and Mr. Miracle.
Barda's so cool.
Barda's awesome. Was probably my favorite character in this whole thing going right now. Or not like over the whole thing, but out of this book, by far Barda.
Mine's Cyborg. Always. In New 52 Justice League, it's always Cyborg.
I know, because the pages are sticky whenever we get a Cyborg.
Hey! Ejaculate!
So,
whoa!
wasn't sure you were going to run with that joke. So, anyways, powering, everybody comes through, Crime Syndicate gets back together, Crime Syndicate and Justice League agree they need to work together to kick Anti-Monitor's ass, and then Grail, having led Anti-Monitor to Earth, does a ritual to summon Darkseid to Earth as basically a way to kill Darkseid because she knows the Anti-Monitor is the only chance of killing Darkseid.
And I'm glad we get to see some Calabac action. This Calabac is hardcore.
This Calabac is terrifying.
He's really scary.
Like, straight terrifying.
Got all those parademons fighting the shadow monsters.
Yep.
And
Along the way, Superman and Lex Luthor end up at Apocalypse immediately after Lena shoots Lex.
Oh, right.
Because there's a no yellow sun, Superman begins gradually losing his powers and turning mortal. And in a desperate attempt to reclaim his powers, Lex throws him into one of those fire pits on Apocalypse as a way to absorb UV radiation to get his power. Problem is, that UV radiation does not jive with Superman, and he is now corrupted by some kind of strange energy, and he's far more balls to the wall than he was before.
Becomes the god of power of himself.
After Darkseid dies.
Yeah.
Darkseid has to die before everybody starts
Before he's
God.
technically the god of power.
But he might as well fucking be, because he backhands the shit out of Lex Luthor, strips him of his armor, and leaves him on Apocalypse to die.
Yeah, and then Batman gets the Mobius chair, god of knowledge.
Shazam is god of gods, and yet he's not in this practically at all.
Oh, dude, he's in it almost...
None.
Yeah.
He got the power of all the gods.
There's a one-shot, which we'll also do a review for that after we do the Power Rangers review. So he has to challenge all these gods, get their powers or whatever. Gets a whole new pantheon that he gets his powers from. And then we barely see him. And then he's just gone.
I mean, he was there to get stabbed in the fighting, and then he was there to get his powers drained away by the... Later in issue 2, we'll talk, or the second part of Dark Side, we'll talk about that. But he's there for another part, and then that's it. He's there at the beginning, he's there at the end when he gets his ass kicked, and he's nowhere else.
Shazam kind of gets a raw deal the entirety of the New 52.
Which really upsets me.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a solo title. I guess it's because his only cool villain is Black Adam, but they set up stuff in his little parts that are at the end of Justice League.
Yeah.
We already reviewed that graphic novel, Shazam Volume 1.
And Black Adam is very much out there and very much a threat and ruling a country.
Yeah. He's kind of just keeping within his borders, though, for the most part.
Still, he's a dictator and probably a dick on top of the tater.
His people like him, though, because he freed him from an actual dictator. He's trying to prove himself to himself.
Gotcha.
By leading his country.
Fair. Anyways, back on
let's
topic.
Get back to...
Because there's a lot to get through in this one. So
we have that war.
Anti-Monitor and Darkseid are now duking it out on Earth, and you can imagine what kind of effect that has on basically anything in the area.
And the Anti-Monitor has the one thing Darkseid wants above all else. The anti-wife equation. I'm serious, dude. Women get on my nerves, dude.
The anti-life equation. Which, with it, you can manipulate all life in the universe and control it, or you can just kill the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, so he uses that to bond the Black Racer.
Who is literally the embodiment of death for speedsters, I believe.
No, that's the Black Flash. Black Racer is the embodiment of death for everybody else.
But it didn't. It surely didn't stop him from catching the Flash. I don't know why he needed the Black Flash.
Yeah, they that's because Anti-Monitor willed it with his equation. So then they become. I hope we get a figure of the Flash God of Death because it looks super cool.
It's so cool.
He's got that Speed Force scythe thing. That is so awesome.
I don't remember him staying around with a scythe at any point. I know that Black Racer has the scythe, but you're right, he does.
Yeah.
It just gets cut off by these pages.
Yeah, you'll see more of the scythe in the one shot.
Cool.
Which, we'll review that too. Power of the Gods.
So Anti-Monitor has the Black Racer possess the Flash to become the embodiment of death and super speed at the same time, which is truly a terrifying concept.
And they kill Darkseid.
And yeah, literally the Flash just blazes right through Darkseid's chest.
Darkseid's dead. He's a single dead.
They did him a dead.
They did him a murder. This is how human beings talk now.
Thank you, Doug. So
memes.
That's pretty much it. This isn't nearly the clusterfuck that the next issue is.
No, yeah, we're gonna do part 2 next, which is Justice League Volume 8, Darkseid War, part 2. This is way more complicated than that one. That one's straightforward compared to this.
And this one's also probably 2/3 the size of that one. There's a lot more pages in that one as well.
Yeah, that one's a little bigger.
It's significantly bigger. If you ignore the covers,
it's not significantly.
It's significantly bigger.
No, it's
ignore
not.
him.
It's not, dude.
That's really about all I got to say on this one. The art is this is probably the best art I've seen just for New 52 Justice League. I know that we're both super confused about who's doing the art or whatever. The art in this one was by far my favorite. It was fantastic. The faces were
textured.
The faces didn't look fugly. Winning right there. Woo! And he still made the embodiment of evil, Darkseid's daughter, look very attractive.
The red... She's scary though, man.
Hey,
red eyes.
Some people are into that kind of thing.
Red-eyed, gray chicks that'll kill you in your sleep.
Well, not the red-eyed part, or the gray part, but the chicks that kill you in your sleep. It's the dangerous ones that are fun. Kelly, if you're watching this, I love you.
She's not watching this because she doesn't support you. Anyways, that's it. Justice League, Volume 7, The Dark Side War, Part 1. We're almost done with Justice League, and then we're going to take a Justice League break.
I need to cleanse my system a little bit, get back to my Aquaman, get back to my Green Arrow.
Yeah, after we get through both, this, then we're going to swap the Power Rangers for just a bit, And then we're going to go back to Justice League for the one-shots. Technically not the Justice League title. It's a collection of one-shots. Power of the Gods. And then we'll see what happens from there.
Sounds good to me.
We might do Superman. We might do King Kong.
The moment I get Aquaman Volume 2 in, we're doing that one.
Yeah, we definitely are. Get it, dude. It's been months, dude.
How do you know it's not in the mail right now?
Because you're not that smart. And you would have told me because I've been bugging you about it. So,
maybe I just want to surprise the shit out of you, man.
no, you don't. Anyways, shit. Close this out for me, too.
Alright, so guys, thanks for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe. Like us, share us. Follow his Twitter. He's also on SoundCloud as the Owl God. So yeah, stick around and see us again for the next one. Bye.
Hey YouTube, it's me, your boy B3, back with another kicking graphic novel review. Got my boy Matty Matt here. Yes, indeed. And today we're doing part 2 of the Dark Side War, which is Justice League Volume
8.
Yes. Sorry, I've never had to count that high before, man. This is, whew. But yeah, Justice League Volume 8. There is no debate. This book is great. And now, I'm gonna masturbate. Yeah. Don't hate.
I see what you did there.
I'm a rapper or whatever. So,
this rhyme might be a little late.
SoundCloud, link in the description below.
But
yeah.
You are very not straight.
Okay. I couldn't think of a rhyme. I'm a bad rapper. Anyway, Justice League, Dark Side War Volume 2. You're going to do this because you read that recently.
Like 20 minutes ago, actually.
Yeah.
So, or I reread it like 20 minutes ago. So, this was a cluster, and you have to bleep this out because fuck. It's a cluster fuck.
Dude, I don't bleep anything. Huh?
Good.
This is the internet.
Hard.
I don't have to do shit.
YouTube might. Wouldn't they have made you censor it a while ago?
No, I mean, if someone's under 18, I just put like an over 18 thing on it, but everyone signs up saying they're older than they are anyway, so it's not like it even matters. And there's no God, so like nothing really matters if you think about it.
Alright, so guys, we are going to pick back up with Lex Luthor left alone on Apocalypse after getting his suit trashed by Superman. And he gets basically abducted by these strange sand people who instantly have some ritual that they're going to take him to because he's the savior of Apocalypse, because the day Apocalypse died, they were going to find a savior in the wasteland. And
yes,
he literally just absorbs all the power of Apocalypse.
The God of Apocalypse, Lex Luthor.
The Omega effect. And he becomes Lex Luthor, God of Apocalypse.
Yep.
The first of many new gods to be found in this particular issue.
Got Flash, God of Death, Wonder Woman, who is already God of War, but probably not. Read Rebirth Wonder Woman for more on that. We'll get
Superman, God of Strength.
I thought he was God of Power.
I think it's Strength. Or Power. They're interchangeable terms, frankly. It
is Power? I'm pretty positive it's Power.
Alright, if it's Power, I'm sorry. So, Superman, God of Power. Grail becomes the goddess of anti-life. Anti-Monitor goes back to being Mobius. He is no longer possessed by the anti-life equation.
And Batman's God of Knowledge in his place.
Batman is God of Knowledge now. In place of Metron.
Yes.
To correct you.
God of Power. He's God of Power.
Good.
I just checked. In another book, we got piles of graphic novels up here you gotta read, man.
Cool, cool. And it truly is wonderful. We've got the Crime Syndicate back together, as we alluded to in the last issue. And now we've got Ultraman has just eaten some kryptonite, which is his mojo. And he is cranking on all gears, and he is very much a disdainful asshole again.
Oh yeah, they bring like the whole Crime Syndicate back for the most part.
The only one who doesn't make a physical appearance is Power Ring, because his consciousness and spirit is trapped inside the Power Ring, and so he's talking to Jessica.
And Atomica and Johnny Quick are dead.
Yeah, that too.
But yeah, so Volflume has control of Jessica's body. Grid has control of Cyborg's body. Ultraman's been powered up by Lex Luthor's personal kryptonite stash. Owlman's there. Superwoman's there. Omega Prego.
Yeah, Mega Prego. Whew, you ain't kidding.
I bet her stretch marks are crazy.
Oh, I don't know, Matt. She's so pregnant.
You know they didn't go into her cell to give her lotion, dude. Then again, she's also like a magical Amazon woman or whatever. So
Who's
she might not
literally
have stretch marks at
indestructible,
all.
so like if she doesn't bruise, I don't know if she stretch marks.
They're not
Although that
bad.
might make it even more painful if your body is like super indestructible, doesn't
It's
even...
magic, dude. It can do whatever it wants.
And the crime syndicate is literally just waiting for the baby to get there.
Yeah.
And a lot of this is, so far as combat goes, is stalling. Lex Luthor shows up as the God of Apocalypse and starts fighting Mobius now.
Yeah.
Superman's having his little internal crises after jumping into that fire pit on Apocalypse.
And he has to use he uses his solar flare power to get rid of all that excess junk, doesn't he?
Yes, that's destroying his cells from the inside, and it's also making him crazy, angry, wanting to test everybody's power.
One of the many reasons he died.
So,
they killed him. I hated New 52. He looks cool, but he's dumb.
So he battles Diana for a little while. She manages to calm him down by mentioning her love. Immediately after telling Steve Trevor that, like,
I don't know if
that Superman and her wasn't really a thing; they were friends.
I think Steve and her are back together now. They were in Wonder Woman.
Steve,
Volume
you
1.
deserve so much better, man.
He's a pretty good guy. He's
so much better than getting yanked around by the Amazonians.
He deserves a good clinch. I'm serious, dude.
So, we got a lot of backstory for Grail and her upbringing, which is both awful and wonderful. Her Amazonian
Griffin.
And with the Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
So the Amazonian mother, Marina, who gave birth to her, recognizes that Grail really is a creature of Apocalypse in many ways. And she is evil. She takes pleasure in things suffering. As a baby, she still had those Omega Beam eyes, and she blasted a bunch of Roman soldiers into oblivion, and apparently giggled the entire time as they screamed in burning agony.
It's a real nature versus nurture thing here, because she's trying to raise her to be good and, kill Darkseid for the good of the universe, but at the same time, I just love killing.
Yeah.
Oh, my target can't be killed with regular matter.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty.
Oh, I caught that. So we have a lot of her very difficult childhood.
And some other dank shit happened when she was born, too. How about we talk about that for a second?
Oh, you mean the spoiler at the end?
Yeah.
The dank shit where Diana has a fucking twin brother who's born on the exact same night as those other two.
Jason?
His name is Jason. Thank you. And he's nowhere to be found, and Diana has been determined to find him at some point. So, cutting off from my tangent, the entire crime syndicate has been determined, along with the Justice League, to stop Mobius. And nothing really seems to be working. Batman and Green Lantern are trying to dig up as much knowledge as they can.
Hal Jordan, by the way.
Yes, Hal Jordan.
Lots of the Corps comes to help the Green Lantern Corps.
They do, because
Think
of his
John
help on
Stewart.
Noah.
Does John Stewart show up?
Yes, John Stewart is leading that particular charge. I love John Stewart.
Dope!
Oh, man, he's great. So,
He let a planet die, dude.
there's a lot of just brawling here. Power Ring, we get to see inside the Power Ring as Jessica is trying to reclaim her body and break out of its control, and suddenly, out of nowhere, Victor's there!
He's in there.
He's in there.
I didn't expect that.
He's in there.
But he's in there.
He's in there.
My boy.
Your boy is
my
in
guy.
there. So,
my friggin' guy.
You're your guy.
My dude. My homie. My friggin' guy.
So he is in the Magical Green Ring because he apparently was able to download part of his consciousness in there. And he helps Jessica reclaim the ring in a split second. But in that split second, she takes control of the ring. Her own body dives in front of the Black Racer, who
was also Flash, who was also the God of Death.
Well, no, they were separated.
Oh, were they separated?
The God of Death was separated because he was chasing Flash, was catching Flash, was about to kill Flash, because Death could not actually leave until somebody had died. Nobody died yet, actually, in this whole fighting. So she reclaims her body, dives in front of the Black Racer, and dies, seemingly.
But she doesn't die.
Volthoon was still there enough to take the brunt of that Black Racer death. So Jessica's still alive, and she gets claimed by a Green Lantern ring. Because Earth needs more protectors. Jesus Christ.
Ain't that a thing, I said.
It is a thing you said.
Rhyming.
I got you.
Yeah, so she's, one of the two Green Lanterns in the Green Lanterns title. Now, Phantom Range.
Barda and Mr. Miracle have a very touching scene, and it breaks my heart, because Barda boom tubes out, rejoins the Furies, and brings them into the fight against Mobius to start evening the odds. Barda later has to leave because she agreed to rejoin the Furies. And so she has to leave Mr. Miracle standing there heartbroken.
Yeah, so to save his life, she had to bounce.
Exactly. Makes me... I hate those things. I feel like that's such writing cliche at this point.
And Grail kills her mom.
Yeah.
Like she fires the blast.
Blast right through her. But that happens after this. Grail takes the anti-life equation. Instead of taking it into herself, she puts it into Steve Trevor because of a prophecy that was given when she was young, which said that the first man to ever touch the Mascara would either save or destroy the world. And she thought that was Steve Trevor. Everybody thought it was Steve Trevor. But it was Jason, because Jason was the first male to touch. Yeah. So anyways.
What if just his dick tip touched?
I don't think it matters.
Because it says set foot on. What if his dick tip is touching? Would he still be the first one?
I'm going to say yes.
Nice, dude. So,
Steve Trevor now has the anti-life equation in him, and he's attempting to resist it. And he repeatedly manages to avert blasting his once former teammates and friends in the face multiple times.
And then there was all that weird shit with the baby, too, man.
And then the baby gets born right in the middle of the fucking battlefield. And the baby is also apparently a child of Darkseid. Yay!
No, it's Alexander Luthor's baby.
Oh, wait, you're right, sorry.
No,
but it looks like Darkseid.
That's because the baby becomes Darkseid. Okay. Damn. It's so confusing. It's Alexander Luthor's baby who has the powers to take powers.
But he took so much, apparently, or something like that? Yeah, well... That he took the powers of the God of Apocalypse?
They resurrected Darkseid, and then they put Darkseid in the baby. After that, Darkseid died, because it was connected to Grail. And now that baby is Darkseid, and Grail's raising it, and she wants to raise him to be good, but obviously he's not gonna, because he's Darkseid.
But she's going to attempt to do the same thing that her mother did for her.
But that whole baby's existence, for the point of it, was to kill the Anti-Monitor, and...
Well, her whole existence was to kill Darkseid.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's like she thinks she can stop the repetition of history.
This is what, like, 6 years, or whatever, of the New 52 was leading up to this, all in Justice League.
God almighty.
All of Justice League New 52 is leading up to this moment. That's why it's so confusing, and there's so many characters and everything's going on.
Like you said earlier, the entire Green Lantern Corps shows up because of Hal's efforts to help keep Oa safe.
Yeah, like when this happened, I thought it was going to be a crisis. That's how complicated it is.
It might as well be. Superman is currently dying because of that overdose of radiation.
And because of the kryptonite pit at Argus.
Yeah.
And because of the kryptonite sliver in his brain, and because of the stuff
he's basically taking an ass kicking.
Thank God, right?
You keep going. So,
Rebirth Superman.
And Owlman claims the Mobius chair.
And then an unseen being, who I assume is Dr. Manhattan, blows that fool up.
Right out of the Mobius chair.
Right on the moon. He dead.
But
don't forget the Jokers.
There are... Oh, that's right. There are actually 3 Jokers.
What?
So, in the last issue, Batman has 2 questions the moment he touches the Mobius chair. Who killed his parents? Joe Chill.
Yeah, which you already knew.
Who is the Joker? And the Mobius chair tells him that there are 3 Jokers. Although the immediate question is, who are the 3 Jokers then?
He was kind of interrupted. He didn't get to ask that question.
He sat on the Mobius chair for a while. He's been an entire...
I want to see him solve it himself.
He's been an entire day on Mobius chair helping Gotham. You don't think stopping the Crown Prince of Crime... You didn't even read that book. You think him sitting on... It's referenced in this!
Yeah, you should read it.
I will. So, you're sitting on the Mobius chair for an entire day stopping crime in Gotham, and you don't think it might be a good investment for the future to figure out who these frickin' Jokers are and get them arrested permanently.
That's a really good point, yeah.
That's preventative maintenance, people.
No, it's not. It's setup.
That's preventative maintenance. If he does it right, and he didn't, he just stopped crime that was happening. Didn't stop the mass murder that was going to bring it soon enough. Anyways, I'm salty.
The war of jokes and riddles.
So anyways, and we leave off with Lex Luthor is still the Lord of Apocalypse. He's also wearing a suit with the giant Superman symbol on it.
House of L symbol, but yeah.
The what?
House of L symbol?
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because it means hope on his planet.
Apocalypse. Hey, what's this mean on your planet? Gratitude? I love that video. That's so funny. That's such a funny video.
It is good.
But yeah, so you'd see more of that Lex Luthor in Action Comics, which we'll review. It's right over there. He just has to read it. It's lazy ass.
I have a life.
How dare you not sit still and read my books all day?
I have a job?
Yeah, well, I have 3 jobs. Ooh. But yeah, I think we covered everything that we could, man. This is
You just need to read it. There's so many little things throughout that you have to read it yourself to catch everything. There's no way we could.
It's very good.
Unless we read it out loud to you, which I refuse to do.
Chapter
You lazy
1.
fucks.
It's a good book.
It is.
Papa like.
Frankly, it was worth reading every bit of Justice League just for this final build-up.
Mm-hmm.
As confused as I was at points, it was fantastic. Go just buy these and read them. Support DC.
Definitely check it out. Ooh.
But hey, thanks for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, like, share with your friends, follow him on Twitter, follow him on SoundCloud. He's a rapper, even though he's not a very good one, as you heard earlier.
Check out those links. But that's it. Thank you all once again.
See you next time.
Hello YouTube, B3 here back with another kicking graphic novel review. Yeah, we finally are bringing you the one we promised a little while back. Not that you guys care, all 8 of you that watch this or whatever the fuck. But yeah, Justice League, The Dark Side War, Power of the Gods. Yeah, this is a collection of one-shots, just little character features about what they did with their god powers.
Yeah.
When they were somehow not fighting Darkseid and the Anti-Monitor.
Yeah, you know, that
Like-
whole big time gap that they had to do so much stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the Superman, like, we'll talk about how much sense they make. Because the Batman one, which is the first one,
Yes.
him in Moby's chair,
Mm-hmm.
there's no time for him to do all this Gotham stuff.
No.
Really. There's no... Because he gets that chair and then they're just fighting Darkseid and the Anti-Monitor the whole time.
Right.
There's no time for him to do this. But he's using the chair to, like, stop crimes kind of before they happen because he has, like, ultimate knowledge now or whatever, and ultimate power.
But he still has to ask questions, which is hilarious.
Yeah, well, he has to ask questions to get that knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah. He has to ask the chair for the knowledge.
But he's not asking the chair, he's
asking Jim stuff?
Yeah.
I guess that's just a habit.
I guess. Like, he should, in theory, have all of that knowledge already.
Yeah.
Not even in theory, in fact. But anyways.
But yeah, he's like teleporting criminals to the Arctic saying, oh, use the flare in your glove compartment to call that ship. And it's like, what if the ship doesn't see it and come get him? Like, he could be killing criminals, and he's being a little ruthless.
Yeah.
I mean, he's acting a little, even higher and mightier than he normally is, which is really saying something, because Batman's a huge fucking asshole.
Yeah, he's a bit of a know-it-all.
He's cool, but he's a dick.
He's a dick.
But yeah, he's torturing himself the whole time, too. Freaking...
Well, the chair is actually, like, eating away at him from the inside because he's not doing what the chair wants him to be doing.
Yeah, because he's not supposed to interfere when he has all that knowledge. He's just supposed to kind of...
Like,
watch. Yeah. And he, like, confronts Joe Chill and stuff, and then wipes his memory, and just doing all this weird stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't... It's whatever.
Using it to look into the Joker.
Yeah,
Or
we
the
still don't
three
know about
Jokers.
that. I don't think this will be up by the time the War of Jokes and Riddles starts. Which is... Because right now, at the time of recording this, the last Batman issue to come out was issue 23, which is part 1 of The Brave and the Mold, which is a Swamp Thing story.
Which makes you
With
happy.
Batman. Yeah, I haven't read it yet, but I got it. And I think it's a 2-parter. And then we get into the War of Jokes and Riddles, which might shed a little light on Joker stuff.
I'm
don't know.
hoping. Jokes and riddles.
Yeah, it's like Joker versus Riddler, I think.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. Hopefully Batman will put his suit back on before that time.
Does he not have the bat suit on?
Well, in the last part of the button, or the part before last, he talked to Thomas Wayne Batman, and he was like, don't be Batman for us. Don't do it. I know it's just torture to you.
Right.
And then, after they settled stuff in part 4 of the button, he saw the bat signal in the sky, and Alfred asked if he was going to go to it, and he didn't go to it. And I haven't read the next issue yet, but yeah.
Oh my god.
Pretty insane.
So the next one off is actually about Flash as the Avatar of Death.
Which is...
The black racer.
It's kind of boring, actually.
Yeah.
Like, he looks super cool, but this issue was rather boring.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh no, absolutely. It
was
was
just like
boring.
the black racer trying to convince Barry that death is necessary.
Yeah,
which it
literally.
is.
I mean,
It's
which
like-
is not something that you can really necessarily argue.
Yeah, and it's just like, whatever. We get we get it. It's fine. Let's move on.
Yeah, it's very much like it's a philosophical conversation based in a little comic booky action and silliness.
Yeah, but it's just boring.
Yeah,
It's
it's got no real purpose. Sorry, guys. The Superman one is interesting to see Superman being such a giant cock.
Yeah, he's being very Superman 3 here. And no one likes
Superman
3. Did you watch Superman 3?
No.
It was a shit show.
I didn't watch Superman
Worst
3.
Superman movie.
Didn't what? Because he's being arrogant, high and mighty, and I'm holier than thou, and nothing I do really matters because you're just people and you're irrelevant in the giant spectrum of the universe.
Yeah, and there's like a weird little error, because in these books it calls him the god of strength, but in the Darkseid books it calls him the god of power.
I knew there was some kind of discrepancy.
Yeah, because we checked it. We looked in one of the other books, and it said
we
god of power.
We argued about it for a little bit there.
Yeah, and I got up and checked, but in this book it is different. So it's different in different places.
Well, then there needs to be a little bit closer editing here, guys.
Yeah.
Based on the continuity errors I'm seeing, the name errors.
The Superman story is also boring.
Yeah, it's boring. It's him being a dick and then realizing that he's starting to realize that there's something wrong, but still being a dick.
Yeah, and the real Superman kind of peeks through in the end, but...
Yeah, like there's this moment where instead of being all black and white, like he is after jumping into the fire pits of Apocalypse, his eyes start to go a little humany, and then they go back to, like, normal.
And he makes a split-second decision to, fuck it, I'll save Metropolis, whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
The physics of it don't work with the freezing and everything, but
No.
it's fine. Who cares?
This fucking Superman was boring as shit.
And then we get to the Green Lantern one, which is absolutely fantastic.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
It's, like, about the nature of God, and it's really good. Like,
very good, especially Hal's ultimate decision at the end.
yeah, because all the Green Lanterns, there's a mother box trying to fill the voids or whatever left by gods dying and shit. And the parademons all flock to the most powerful
Oa.
source in the universe, which is Oa.
Yeah.
And they kill all the Green Lanterns on the planet.
All 7,200 of them, right?
Uh,
There's like 7,200 Green Lanterns, I believe. Because he asks for a count.
yeah, because there's multiple ones in the different sectors.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And so he's flying around doing there, and he's the only one that accepts the offer to be a god. Because the Green Lanterns are too proud to do that shit.
Right.
And he does it, and eventually he fixes Oa, brings everyone back to life.
Gets rid of all the parademons that were killing off all of the Green Lanterns.
And then has the willpower to give up being a god.
He literally destroys the mother box that made him the god of light.
Insane. So good. And
It's
there's
so beautiful.
the flashback to when he was a kid and stuff in the church.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. One of the best.
And it's so Hal Jordan, too.
Because
Because Hal Jordan just has fuck you rules.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's one of the best Green Lantern issues I've ever read.
He's the Green Lantern that goes against the grain and accepts godhood, and then he's the god who eliminates his own godhood.
Yeah, God of Light. Absolutely
I
incredible.
mean, absolute power.
He was like, fuck it.
I mean, he has absolute power to create and destroy.
He just
bends reality to his will, and then he was like, yeah, I'm done with this.
And then the Shazam one is the
Which
last one,
was-
right? No, there's also Lex Luthor. Shazam and Lex
Yes, and the Lex one's really short.
Luthor. Yeah.
But the Shazam one was...
It was a bit more interesting just because you got to see these cool gods they made
Yeah.
up. But it's also a little boring.
Yeah. I mean, he beats the baddie in, like, 2 pages.
Yeah, because most of it's just him talking to the new gods in his pantheon that give him his new power set.
Yeah. Which he doesn't really seem to hold on to, actually. Because he just goes back to standard Shazamming.
I think he does. Yeah.
Maybe he does? Okay.
I don't even remember, man. I don't know what he's doing right now.
All I know is that he does, and that is interesting to see the gods they created, and there's this ultimate evil father of Darkseid.
Yeah, that was neat, the whole Father of Darkseid concept. You can see the wizard again.
Yeah. The idea that there exists this source that all gods return to when destroyed. So, assumedly, Darkseid would be in the source now, I guess. No, he's in the baby.
Yeah, he's a baby.
He's in the baby. He's in the baby.
So weird, being raised by his adult daughter while he's a baby.
Yeah.
Insane.
I'm trying not to think about it.
Comics. Welcome to comics,
So, as I'm
everybody.
going to the source, but Darkseid's father was killed by Darkseid. And then Darkseid's father, whose name I can't remember because it's something weird.
Yeah, they call him 2 different things in here, too.
And I think they refused to actually refer to him by his actual name to not give him the pleasure of using his actual name. But yeah, so he was in part of the Source, and he managed to break out of the Source with all the whole God shuffling thing going on, and the Source blasting out godhood everywhere.
Yeah, here, I'll give you the lineup of his gods, because they're all listed.
Yes.
Here. The strength of Siva, the fires of Hronmir, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
These
so
are all
that
weird.
Hronmir was fire and death.
Yeah, that was a cool one.
He was really cool. He reminded me of the Black Racer a little bit. Design.
The compassion of Anapel, the source manipulation of Zonuz Yuga Khan, the boldness of, I guess that's Ati, because I'm pretty sure it's not pronounced 8.
No, that's not Ati.
Yeah, and the lightning of Mamagragon, the wizard. So I guess Zonuz is the father of Darkseid, right? Yuga
Yes.
Khan, 2 names?
I think
Yeah.
so.
But yeah, that one was kind of boring. There was some philosophical stuff in there too, but it was real surface level stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't very
It
deep.
wasn't too deep.
And again, the major conflict was the Zomazu guy or whatever, and he literally beats him in a page. He literally just goes Shazam and punches the ever-loving crap out of him, and that's it.
Yeah, for a real battle, they would have had to give it another issue or make it a super size, and they were like, for this just little tiny story, we don't need to do that.
Yeah, very anticlimactic though.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the pretty interesting one, I thought.
The Lex Luthor one, he gets like Darkseid's powers.
He has
it
the
seems.
Omega energy inside of him now. As
Exactly.
part of his, when Darkseid died, the Omega, he got the Omega energy. So it's turning him all Darkseid-y looking, where he's kind of craggy and dark-skinned now. And
Glowing eyes,
yeah,
naked.
yeah, yummy.
And she's like, oh, check out all these slave people and shit.
They're willing to follow you because you're not Darkseid. And
Yeah.
You liberated us, and you're supposed to be this hero guy.
And it's really about trust, because Luthor doesn't trust anyone. There's a flashback to his dad kind of abusing him because he fell in a well.
And his dad
was
just
like,
tossed him a rope and said, "Climb yourself out."
get the fuck out of there. I'm not helping you.
And there's another flashback actually to one of his first interaction in this universe with Superman, where Superman attempts to save him from falling out of it was like a copter or a plane or something.
Yeah.
And Superman's like, "Hey, I'm holding this thing. You're gonna have to reach out and take my hand." And he's like, "No, the strong don't ask for help." I guess it was a
let's go. Falls
He
in
just
the
lets go
ocean.
for his own pride. He just because of his dad's abuse. He refuses to ask for help.
Yeah.
So his little thing in his one-off is learning to actually ask for this woman's help and learning to control his Omega powers.
Yes. And
he does.
Yeah, and then the parademons come to him after they can't do the Oa shit anymore.
Yeah, then he got booted.
Yeah, but they if you're reading it via graphic novels and not via issues, the Lex Luthor thing and the Green Lantern thing don't kind of line up, because Green Lantern does his thing and comes back within the last part of the graphic novel or whatever, and Lex Luthor's kind of all over the place. So reading these by the issues as they came out, I'm sure was much smoother than reading the 2 separate.
Reading them blocked up
up
the way they are.
Yeah, but it's still fine. You get everything.
Yeah. Overall, it was okay.
Yeah, most of it's boring, but honestly, just that Green Lantern story was worth the price. I got this for $8.
Oh yeah,
by the
no.
way,
The
which is twice as much as just one comic. So I got this real cheap on Amazon.
frankly, anybody who's even curious, I can recommend that just for the Green Lantern. And I'm not even a big Green Lantern guy.
Yeah.
I've owned up to that a couple of times, and that may have changed my perception of Green Lantern entirely.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing most of, if not all, of Geoff Johns' Green Lantern.
Cool.
I'm missing 3 books from his run, pre-New 52 run, and then I'm missing the 3 books from the New 52, but I've read them.
Maybe I'll make it a
So I'm missing 6 books, but I've read 4 of them,
Okay.
and 2 of them aren't big deal stories. So,
Okay. Yeah, still.
but yeah, I'll get them. They're on my Amazon list.
Sounds good to me.
Most of them are $10. That's fine. But
But there's not really much more to say about it.
yeah, that's it. I think it's mostly boring.
Yeah.
But the Green Lantern one.
If you get it, you could read just the Green Lantern one and not read any of the others, and you won't miss a thing. It actually might improve it because you'll question the timeline and the editing of the DC universe a lot less if you don't read it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But,
That's it.
Yeah,
me, anyways.
that's it. Kind of a short one. It's mostly boring, but the Green Lantern's good. If you have a local comic shop, they might just have the one Green Lantern issue. It's
In
all
which
one
case,
issue,
just get
so.
that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. This has been Justice League: The Dark Side War, Power of the Gods graphic novel review.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Check him out on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, the whole 9 yards. You guys know this deal.
Yep.
Spread the love.
And next time we are going to start on
Batman.
Yeah, we're going to be doing New 52 Batman stuff too, which was excellent run.
Oh yeah.
But we'll talk about that more next time.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye.